All right, welcome to the Low Carb Football Party. How's everybody doing tonight? I got a co-host with me for a short time, Brad here. How you doing, Brad?
Good. Welcome, everybody.
Good deal. Brad's kind of filling in for a few minutes until Brian's able to get on because Brian's on vacation this week, but he'll be joining us shortly, I know. But I welcome you all to the show. Should be a good football game tonight. And we have the Buccaneers versus the Buffalo Bills. And I think the game's up there in Buffalo. So, it's going to be kind of interesting, Brad. Now that the weather's starting to get a little colder, that's going to affect some of these football games going forward, whether it be rain or snow or cold.
Yeah, especially with the snow. Like, snow always affects the game big time. And speaking of snow, like, we're supposed to get snow this weekend, which is not – it's October, right? So it's not something we need.
Yeah, for sure.
But
It's
definitely affects the games when it's raining or snowing out.
But, yeah, it does make a difference. That's for sure. But hey, if you're out there tonight, go ahead and put in the comments where you're from. We like to see that. And I see we got a couple on here. I'll go ahead and flash those up. Hey, Carnivore Trucker, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day and everything's going your way and you're ready for some football and low carb football party. And hello, Michael. How you doing? Appreciate you coming in and watching tonight. Like I said, if you guys want to comment where you're from, that's great. If you want, let's see here. Just gonna see here. All right. Well, Brad, let's go ahead and talk a little bit of football here. What are your predictions for the game tonight? Who do you think's going to win?
I think the Bills will pull it off since they play pretty well at home. If this was at Tampa Bay, I'd maybe lean towards Tampa Bay a little bit, but I'd love to see Tampa Bay win. Because I just think it's funny watching Stephon Diggs cry like a baby when things don't go his way. So, so it's like, I mean, I really like, I like watching the Bills win. I think the last couple of years it's been fun watching them, Allen be successful, but then not do too well in the playoffs. But I like to see Baker Mayfield do well too with Tampa Bay too. So.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think since it's in Buffalo, I'm going to take Buffalo, but they kind of surprised me this year. They have not been that great. Not as good as you thought they would be. That's for sure. I think they were better in past years, but I'm with you. I'm going to take Buffalo tonight, but it should be a decent football game, and you just never know. Baker Mayfield, he's actually panned out pretty good this year. It could have been a lot worse. So. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for joining us. And I see Carnivore Trucker here. He's in Phoenix right now. I'm sure he travels all over. And Michael's in Chicago. And that's awesome. But, yeah, I'm with you. I think Buffalo's – do you think it'll be a close game tonight, Brad?
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game because Buffalo hasn't shown that they could tear it up like they have in the past. So – I think Allen's been running for his life. I don't think the offensive line is doing as well as it has in the past, and so there's just a lot more pressure on him to get rid of the ball faster. And he's done a lot of turnover, thrown a lot of interceptions, a lot of fumbles, just a lot of turnovers. So
definitely. For those of you just joining us, Brian will be with us shortly. In the meantime, I got a co-host here, and Brad. You maybe have seen us before a couple times on this channel, and I know I put an interview out with him today is from the Low Carb Football Party before he did his section. But Brad, why don't you just introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Brad. I'm from Mason City, Iowa. Greg and I have known each other since high school, so for quite a while because we got the big goatees going on. So it's been a while. So Greg and I have been buddies for quite a while. And I guess, one of the reasons I'm on here is just because I've been doing the low carb diet since basically December. Started working on losing weight and exercising a little more back in December, but then really got into the low carb diet probably in January, February timeframe. And it's been working pretty well for me. So I went from 235 pounds down to 180. So which is kind of where I want to be. So between the low carb diet and exercising, and that's done really well. And then if you've watched some of Greg's videos that I've been on, you'll know I'm a type 1 diabetic. So just getting on the low carb diet's been a huge thing for me in the management of my diabetes.
Yep, definitely. No, that's you've done great, Brad. I think, didn't you say you're down 55 pounds now? Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm good with that. So that's kind of, I'll hang, plus or minus a couple pounds. I'll be good with just hanging out at that range.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you, buddy. You've done really well, and I'm happy that you've been able to control your blood sugar so much better with a low carb diet. It's really made a difference for you, and I think that's amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And like I said before, if you guys want to share where you're from in the comments, that'd be great. And also make sure you smash that like button as we try to get this out to YouTube on the algorithm. I'm sure there's some other shows going on tonight, but we're always here on Thursday night at the same time. So let's see here. Brad, what do you think of? Just a little bit more football talk, but what do you think about the Vikings and what they're doing right now?
After last week's game, I mean, beating the 49ers is a big deal. It's like gives you a little bit of hope, but as well as I do as a Vikings fan, we're given hope all the time, and then we're let down. So, but I mean, it's exciting, right? So it's like you saw that there was no sacks in the game. So just showing that the offensive line stepped up a little bit, especially against the 49ers defense, and just how they moved the ball and how it was just a well-rounded, very, very good game. So they show that if they play well, and play together, that they can beat anybody. It's just a matter of doing that consistently.
Yeah, that I think the big change, I don't think it wasn't really talked about, isn't it Reisner who's playing left guard? Yeah. I think that made a huge difference in the line, because that was the best game they played all year. And when they give Cousins time like that, he can drop dimes when he has time. Yeah. I mean,
when he's got time, he's very, very accurate. So
it
was nice watching him win on Monday Night Football too, because he's kind of had a reputation of losing the big games. Like last year, he won during the Monday night, the big games, and I think they won on Thanksgiving Day too, from what I remember. But yeah. I know they did, because I remember Justin Jefferson didn't eat the chicken because he had his diamond teeth in.
That's right. I just, not to change subject, but Michael had a nice comment there for you, Brad.
Thanks.
Congratulating you, and that's awesome, because you've done really well with things. But Brian's not here yet, but I'm going to ask you about it. What do you think about the Lions last weekend?
Oh, they got smoked.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I watched a lot of that game, and it's just like they didn't even look like the same team that they were. So it's just the Ravens just beat them up.
I was surprised, because that was not the Detroit Lions team I've watched all year. Not sure what the Ravens did, but they manhandled them for sure.
It's like they didn't have an answer for Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. Like they just didn't have an answer for him. And
it'll be fun to ask Brian about that one a little bit. Get his take on it. I'm not sure if he saw the game or not, since he's on vacation this week, but I'm sure he tried to catch her, or at least saw the highlights. But yeah, that defense was on the field the whole game, and they couldn't stop them for nothing. It was
an all-out butt whooping. No doubt about it.
Sometimes teams learn from that, though. Especially when you've been successful, you get kind of high and mighty and think, "Oh, we're unstoppable," and then you get your butt handed to you.
You get overconfident.
Yep. All of a sudden, you go back to work at practice again and start working on the little things that made you good. So
I think they play the Raiders on Monday Night Football this week, so that'll be a good game for them. Maybe to come back and correct what happened. So.
Yep, definitely. So. Yeah, that's it's fun to watch. So I guess, Brad, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about our topic tonight. We're going to talk about Halloween treats and, what do you do to avoid them, that type of thing. But first off, I just wanted to ask you, are you guys handing out candy on Halloween night?
We got the candy bought, so we're ready to go for Halloween. So it'd be interesting, with weather being cold, it'd be interesting to see how many trick-or-treaters we have. But
How many kids do you usually get?
oh, probably 20 to 30. We don't get considering that we live on a fairly main street, we don't get a lot, but it's usually in that 20 to 30 range, I would guess.
Yeah.
And it's always like the first hour is usually busy, and then the last hour really dies down.
Yeah, I think tonight, or I think this time it's from 5:30 to 7:30. My wife was telling me earlier, so that'll be. They keep changing the time, but I think it's because it's a weekday. It's
Right.
Halloween's on Tuesday or whatever. They started it a little bit later so parents could get home from work and stuff. But I was just telling my wife tonight, I remember when we had kids at home and how busy that day was because you'd have to scramble home from work and then help your kids get ready. And it was just kind of crazy times. And at my house, we always had chili and cinnamon rolls, and then like my brother and his family would come over. So, and a lot of times it was really cold. So the chili hit the spot.
Yeah.
And then other times it was so nice, where I lived in a cul-de-sac, heck, the guys were walking around with their kids carrying a beer.
Oh, yeah.
You
never know what you're going to get for weather this time of year. So.
No, you don't. So, but I do see
pretty cold this time. So
I do see the stores are getting smart now. Like the other day I seen, it was actually little liquor bottles of Fireball for the adults that you can hand out for trick or treat. I thought
nice.
It was kind of interesting. But I see, looks like Brian's able to come in, so we'll go ahead and bring him in now. I think that'd be a good time. So hopefully Brian's ready to go and all set. So, hey, how you doing, Brian?
Hello.
How's vacation going?
It's going good. Boy, do you hear an echo, or is that just me?
I don't notice one. Do you, Brad?
I don't hear an echo.
Okay. It must just be me.
Yeah,
I'm doing this a little bit. I'm doing this different than what I usually do. I normally have a separate camera, and I'm using the camera directly off my laptop. And then in this room, the lighting is horrible. So I just set up a couple of lights in the back to try and give me a little bit of lighting. But
yeah,
vacation's been good. Trying to get set up for this was kind of a pain, but sorry I'm a few minutes late. Thanks, Brad and Greg, for getting things going while I was late. So
I think works out fine. Your camera looks good. I mean, yeah.
I think it's time to do the tag team wrestling, Brian, and I'm tagging out because I was just filling in until you got here because my son's over to watch the game with me, so I'm gonna listen from the side. So.
Okay.
So I appreciate you having me on real quick, and I'll never fill Brian's shoes, so I'm glad you're here. So.
Well, thanks for coming in, Brad. We appreciate it, and it's good hearing your story a little bit and introducing you to the people. So,
thanks. All right, guys.
Take care.
Take care. See ya.
All right. Bye, Brad.
Bye.
All righty. So, yeah, it looks like you've been having some really good eats, Brian. I'm a little jealous seeing the prime rib that you had and some of that other food.
Yeah, today was good again. So I brought some steak with me in a cooler. So I had a ribeye for lunch today.
Ooh.
And then we ended up going out this late afternoon, evening here. And we went to another buffet place. We went to the Pirates table, so I had prime rib and crab legs again.
Oh wow.
It's a little bit expensive doing that, so that's probably the last time this week that we're going to do that, but I can't complain about all the prime rib and crab legs that you want to eat, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's a carnivore person's dream come true.
Have you been able to stay focused pretty good on your carnivore diet, or?
Yeah, I've done really good this time. So we've gone to two different buffet places. The first buffet place we went to, I had prime rib and beef tenderloin tips, and then crab legs. And then this place, they had prime rib and the crab legs. So I did well at both of those places. Yesterday we went to lunch at a local place. It's called the Angry Monk. And they have, and I went there once before, so I kind of knew what I was gonna do going in, but they have chicken wings that are smoked. So they're not cooked in any oil or anything like that. They're slow smoked. in the smoker, and just really good flavor. They're a different taste than like normal chicken wings, but I really like it. It's got that smoke, taste to it and everything. So I had those. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I had some burgers that I bought at the grocery store out here. So made myself some burger patties. Another day we went to a steakhouse that was pretty cool because they had a salad bar, and you could go to the salad bar one time as like your salad thing, right? And so I just went and I took they had scrambled eggs, so I took that and bacon and ham and some cheese. And I think that might have been all of it, and I just put it together. So instead of taking the other parts of the salad, right, that I just took that and I called it my carnivore salad. So I ate that as my salad. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think I saw your video on that. So yeah, it looked good. So definitely.
Yeah.
I guess not to change subjects on you, but the game I know just kicked off. But what are your thoughts on the game tonight, Brian?
I think this could be interesting. I think Tampa Bay is going to keep it close, at least early on. Buffalo's an interesting team. If you see me looking up, it's because the TV here
He's
is
up there.
up
I
in
was
the air.
wondering.
Yeah. So sorry. But Buffalo's an interesting team. They don't seem to be as good as they have been the past couple
Yeah.
years, and they're more inconsistent. So if we see the really good Buffalo team, I think that they'll pull away in the second half. But if we see a more inconsistent team, a team that struggles a little bit on offense, then this could be a very interesting game down to the wire.
Oh yeah, I think so too. It should be. I think it'll be a better game. I mean, we'll see. Oh, depends on what. I think a lot of it depends on how well Baker Mayfield plays. I think is a good part of it for Tampa, but it should be interesting. But I'm with you. Buffalo has been not as good, and I think I kind of said that at the beginning of the year, if I remember right, in my picks that. It may not be as good as they were in the past, and so far they aren't. So,
yeah,
I don't know what he was throwing at on that picture. He threw it right in the guy's helmet. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, and you probably heard us. Maybe you heard us talking, but I asked Brad what happened to the Lions last week.
I knew this was coming.
I wanted to see your
All
take
right.
on it. I thought that was interesting.
So this is what I've been fearing, and what I've grown accustomed to throughout my life is that type of a Lions team. So I've been fearing that kind of performance was going to show up, and it finally did. So they got two places to go from here. Either they let that snowball and they become the typical Lions that I've always known, or they say, you know what, it happened. We're going to move on, and we're going to go back to being the Lions that we've been, and learn from our mistakes in this game. And if they do that, then I think they could still be very well in pretty good shape. Although I gotta say, I've been kind of hinting at it the last couple of weeks. The Vikings look interesting. And that game against the 49ers, they showed how good they can be. So that I know we've been saying, like, you've been a couple times you said that the Lions, this is their division to lose. And I've been like, well, I don't know. I mean, Lions and Vikings could, the Vikings are right there. I mean, it's a long season. Either one of those teams can win the division. I think we pretty much know at this point that the Packers and the Bears are just not at the same level.
Yeah.
The Packers may have had that good start the first couple of games, but they're down where we kind of thought they would be. But I mean, the Vikings are right there, and we don't know how consistent the Lions are going to be, especially when they play good teams. Like when they played the who do they have somebody coming up? Is it they play somebody good? I can't remember in the next
Kansas
couple of
City
weeks.
Coming up, don't they? Or did they played them the first week?
They played them already the first week, but it was without Kelsey, so I do have to say that. They have somebody coming up. I can't remember. I'm thinking maybe it was the 49ers or the
at some point they'll play the 49ers because they're playing the North. So
yeah, they're going to have a couple of tough games, I think, coming up here. And the Vikings schedule, I think, gets a little bit easier from what I saw. So yeah, I mean, 3-4 weeks from now, the Vikings could potentially be in first place in Detroit and have it swapped on Detroit, where Detroit's the team trying to catch up.
I
So it'll be
do think
interesting to see.
the North did get very interesting after this last weekend. I'll say that. And I think, my whole thing is, did the Ravens kind of expose how to beat the Lions? Sometimes when a team does that, all of a sudden everybody starts repeating what they did to beat them. But I was really shocked to see the Lions get beat like that, because that's not the Lions I've seen all year. And just
Mhm.
seeing the highlights and stuff, it's like the defense couldn't get off the field and they're giving up big plays, and I'm like, wow, it was surprising. And then of course the Vikings, the only thing I'll say about the Vikings, their defense is getting better. And they put that Reisner in at left guard, and boy, they had a great game. That's the best line I've seen play in a long time. I mean, they gave Cousins all day to throw the ball, and when you do that, he can pick defenses apart. Usually, he's under duress and taking big hits, but he hardly got hit. So,
Yeah.
especially with Bosa, I mean, it's surprising that they handled the Niners like they did. I was shocked. So yeah, I think the North is going to get very interesting for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing that really concerns me about the Lions. They've had some injuries in the secondary, and it happened to them last year too. But the Lions are, I think they're a good team, but they're not necessarily a great team. And they don't have the depth as some of those better teams in the NFL have. So injuries are going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt another team that can just plug the next guy in.
Yeah.
They're just not there, with that kind of depth. So I think they're going to struggle until they get some of those guys back. And I'm not sure. I think like the one guy might even be done for the season. I can't remember, but they've had some injuries that I think are going to hurt them. And to be honest, I don't know about Jared Goff. When he was with the Rams, he started out well. They were in the Super Bowl and that. I think they won the Super Bowl with him. But then the last couple of years, he didn't do well there. And he came to Detroit, and I was like, well, Detroit got a lot of draft picks in that trade, so that's the really good thing. But he's played pretty solid in Detroit, and I just don't know. Like, is this game that they just had, is that the Jared that seems like the Jared Goff that we saw the last couple of years in LA. So
Yeah.
is that what we're gonna see? He doesn't necessarily need to be great in Detroit, but he can't be that Jared Goff. If he's that Jared
Right.
Goff, they're not going to beat the Vikings out for the division. So
Right. Yep, it's gonna definitely be interesting, Brian, after this last weekend, because I've been pretty down on the Vikings, and I don't want to get my hopes up because they all seem to disappoint me, but they definitely look like they're took a step in the right direction. Granted, the 49ers could have just had a bad game. I mean, stuff happens, but I think I saw where the 49ers have not beat the Vikings up there in quite a while. So I thought that was kind of interesting stat to see. For whatever reason, the 49ers have not been winning on the road at Minnesota. So, but
yeah,
hey, I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. If you do have any questions, go ahead and put a Q in front of them. We're open to answer a few questions tonight. A little bit different, probably format. There's not as much going on tonight for the show. I mean, we do have we'll answer questions, talk a little bit about Halloween candy and stuff. And we do have guests coming on again too. So just wanted to make you aware of that. I did happen to peek over at the other, I see there's quite a few lives going on right now. So, thank you for watching us and choosing to stick with us. And I hope you stay with us for the night. But like I said, ask any questions you have. We'd be happy to answer them for you. I guess, Brian, I'm going to go ahead, and I think it'd be a good time to ask you about what your thoughts are on how do you tackle dealing with Halloween treats. Are you guys going to be handing out candy at your house, I guess? And then also, how do you deal with sweets around the house this time of year?
yeah. So that becomes a bit of a dilemma, right? Because as somebody that thinks that candy and the sugar industry is a really bad thing, I don't want to promote candy at all, right? So
Right.
it would look bad giving out candy to kids. Like, I'm setting a bad example of it, right? Saying it's okay for them to eat all this candy. So that's like the dilemma, right? And the thought is like, okay, well, what do you get them? Well, the interesting thing for me is that last year we did not have a single trick-or-treater come to our house. So I think the easiest thing, we don't have kids at home anymore. They're all out at school. So I think the easiest thing for us is that we're just not going to do anything. And because we don't have kids at home, we don't have to worry about, we don't have little kids at home that are trick-or-treating or anything. So we don't have to worry about them getting candy and so forth. And, we're not going to really have candy at our house. So for me, it works out fairly well this year. The thing is, so I don't necessarily think that everybody needs to just say, I need to stay away from candy, right? Some people that are newer on carnivore and maybe they know that they're going to struggle with cravings, maybe they do need to stay away from the candy this Halloween. Somebody that's been doing the diet for a while, whether it's carnivore or keto or whatever, they know their limits. They can maybe have a piece or two and they're going to be okay. Consider it like a treat, whatever they want to consider, and they're going to be okay. So I think, you got to kind of look at it that way. And where are you at, with your own self-control and so forth? Do you think that you can handle a treat like that and not potentially spiral yourself downward? If you don't think you can, then the best thing is probably to stay away from it. Treat yourself with like a steak or some bacon or something, right?
There you go.
So that's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking?
I'm really mixed on this because, kids are kids. They all want candy. As far as what we will do at our house, I'm guessing we will not hand out any candy. And part of it is no kids at home anymore. And, to be honest, the last 5 years that we've been at this house, well, there's nobody been stopping by. So it's one of those things. It's like, well, I think we had less than 5 kids. So it's almost not even worth having, doing anything. Now, it doesn't mean that my great nieces or my great nephew won't stop by. My wife has some candy here, but I don't know if we'll really hand anything out. I mean, if they show up, maybe. I'm mixed because it's one of those things. I realize how bad sugar is too. So my thing is those kids get enough candy anyways, so they don't need me to contribute to that. So I guess for us, we probably will not hand out any candy. I was just going to share a couple comments here. Go Michigan. We can give you an update. It's 0-0 and there's 9:23 left in the first quarter. Buffalo is driving. They're on like the 24 of Tampa Bay. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And let's see here. Brad said if you buy sugar-free taffy, don't eat too many at once. And I think I know why, since I know Brad pretty well. Yeah, that's not a good idea to eat too much sugar-free candy, no matter what it is, because you're going to have gas problems.
Right.
And your family and friends and neighbors will not like you very well. Oh, let's see here. Keto Cheeto, how you doing tonight? Yeah, we were talking about Halloween candy. He likes Snickers for the win. Yeah, a lot of people love Snickers. That's no lie. Those are pretty tasty, that's for sure. So yeah, getting back to that, Brian, I don't think we'll hand out any candy. I did see something neat, I guess today. It was a TikTok that somebody had that, they let their kid go trick-or-treating and they get this whole basket of candy. I can't remember what he called it now, but they let the child pick out like 5 pieces of their favorite candy. They keep that and then they put the rest on the front step. Well, then it's kind of similar to like a tooth fairy comes during the night and then brings a toy in place of all that candy. And I forget what he called it, but I thought that was a good idea. That way your kids aren't eating all that sugar. And they said they've done it a couple years now. And I thought that was a great idea. The dad just went and cleaned up the candy, and then they put toys in its place in their little basket. So when they got up in the morning, it was kind of like Christmas morning, there's a package at the door for them. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea for sure. I wish I could remember what he called it, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that does sound interesting.
Yep. It's a good idea so your kids aren't eating all the sweets. New York and T-bones. Yeah, I like New York strip. Those are good. Bacon and mushrooms is good. Switch. Yeah, I think that might be what it is. Yep. That's for the switching the candy out for a toy. Yep. It was a good idea though, I thought too. Aaron says we gave my daughter a certain amount of money per candy. Yeah, that works. Bribe your kids with the candy. I think part of it is the house we lived at before. We had a neighbor, and she never handed out candy because she was really against like all the dyes that come in candy, and how it affects kids and their ADHD or their autism, that kind of spectrum, that kind of. So she'd hand out bracelets and stuff like that. So not that I think sometimes it got to be where the kids skipped her house because they wanted candy. But I mean, I applaud her for doing that and not handing out candy, because she knows and she's a physician assistant. So she knows the effects of that too. So definitely buy low, sell high back when it comes to the candy. Yeah, it's a good idea for sure. So, Brian, have you seen anything interesting on vacation that you were surprised, or something you learned, or is there anything kind of neat you want to share with anybody?
Well, let's see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. I thought about it for a second, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I find it very interesting that the majority of the people at the beach are overweight, like 90%. And hey, I'm still there. I'm one of them. Let me tell you, I still got a belly that I need to lose a lot of belly fat still, right? And it's a bit sad because when you look back, like, you look back at like photos and stuff from like the 70s and even in the 80s, it wasn't the same. Like, yeah, there were some overweight people, but like photos at the beach, the majority of people were in really good shape. And that is not the case anymore. And that just shows you how big of a health problem we have in the United States. It's a huge, huge problem. And that alone just kind of saddens me because I don't know how we change that around when the central theme to most people out there is to continue to do what people have been doing that have gotten them overweight and getting sick with different diseases and so forth over the last 30 years or so that we didn't have so much of before. So that's kind of interesting thing for me. And then, today I broke my glasses.
Oh no.
I know. I was like cleaning the lens, right? And like up here, you probably can't tell, but the frame literally cracked. And I had to get some super glue. And they are super glued together. Unfortunately, there's a little in the corner here, there's a little bit of super glue on the lens. So that's annoying because I keep seeing that. And I set up an appointment for next Tuesday to go to the eye doctor, and I'm going to have to get new. I haven't gone in a while anyway, so I probably need a new prescription, but so I'm going to have to get some new glasses, and it was like one of those things, like it's not right in the middle, so it's not like, you could do the whole tape
Right.
thing, like you see like Revenge of the Nerds or something. They got the tape around their glasses. It's not like that. It's off to the side. But if
Brian,
you
you'd
look,
wear that tape well.
man, and I'm telling you, if you look close enough, like you probably can't see so much on camera, but if you're like standing next to me, you're like, what is going on with your glasses? And what's that little smudge? Oh, that's just super glue on my lens. Yeah.
You can't even see it though, because there's a little bit of reflection from your computer and the TV a little bit. So
Yeah, the TV is reflecting, and these glasses are horrible for reflection.
yeah.
So I was thinking like I could just take them off, but then things kind of get a little blurry further away, and so the TV would be blurry. So I'm like, just keep them on. So
Yeah. Hey, I just want to give everybody a little game update. The Buffalo is winning 3-0. They kicked a field goal. Right now, the Bucks have the ball on their own 39, and it's 3rd and 5, and there's just a little under 6 minutes left in the first quarter. So, for those of you that are just kind of wondering, it looks like pass interference probably on Buffalo here, so it'll be first down Bucks. But getting back to what you were saying and what you're noticing at the beach, I've definitely noticed that even before I kind of went on this weight loss journey, and not going to the beach, but just out in public or going to the hospital, and just it's a pandemic of obesity going on in America, and it saddens me. And I think back to the days when I was a kid. Since I'm 51, it was a long time ago. When you had candy, it was a treat. It was a once a week thing. Or if you went out to eat, it was a once a week thing. Well, now it's getting to be a daily thing for people and families. They're busy and they eat out a lot, and they're obviously candy's readily available. Anything sugar, I think our society has changed a lot, and especially with drive-throughs and all that's going on. I mean, obviously, I think it's gotten a little out of hand, and it's too easy. It's gotten convenient and easy for people to get junky food, and it's cheap usually. So I think that's part of the problem, and I notice it more and more too. And yeah, I'm one of them too. I've been there myself. Sure, I've lost 100 pounds, but I mean, I still got 50 plus pounds I'd like to lose. But I definitely know it's a problem. So for sure,
yeah,
with you on
and
that.
let me tell you, so Myrtle Beach is definitely a touristy area, and I think you see this pretty much anywhere, but I've especially noticed this here. There's a ton of candy stores. Some of them are just plain called like It's Sugar was the name of one of the stores.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
I mean, it's insane. Every single complex, like district area that has like a bunch of shops has at least one or two candy stores, a um a cookie store, and a fudge shop. Every
Yeah.
single place. It's like it's all over the place. And think about it. In the summer, when families are here vacationing with their little kids, the kids like, oh, I want to go in the candy store. I want to go in the candy store. I want to get the candy. So that's what it is. It's the marketing. They're going after the kids, getting them to guilt trip their
Mhm.
parents into taking them into the place and getting candy. And just like the cookie places. I mean, my daughter goes to school down here at Coastal Carolina, and the one day we went to the one shopping place, and she was like, "Oh, we got to stop in this cookie place. They got great cookies." And I'm just like, "All right, I'll sit outside. I'm not even going in." But it's like that. It's like it all over. It's all about the candy and fudge shops and all that stuff.
Yep, it's crazy how that happens. I'm just gonna get us caught up on a few comments here. Keto Cheeto, he once made $12 in a half an hour standing next to all these shopping carts. That's funny. And 50 cents is 50 cents. I love that. Of course he's kidding. Oh, let's see here. Um, Steak on clearance, $4.99. Nice. That's a good deal for steak, for sure. And Michael said, yep, the 70s is the food started to change. And after that, it's all downhill for everyone. And you can see it as the years go by, more and more overweight people. That kind of reminds me of a story. in next to where I live in Mason City, Iowa, there's a town called Clear Lake, Iowa. And I don't know if you're familiar or heard of Buddy Holly back in the 50s. That's where his last performance was at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa. They flew out of there on a winter night. He crashed, a couple miles away. I've seen the crash site where, was it where it happened in the middle of a farm field and stuff. But, you go to a concert there. They have not upgraded like all the booths and stuff. And it's like, you could tell it's made for tiny people. Because if I was to try and sit in one side, I would be the only one that could sit on the side, and it's made for two on a side. And then my knees would hit the other bench on the other side of the table. I mean, that's how small the booths are, and they're all that way. And it's like, so people have gotten much bigger than it used to be, because that place was made, I don't know when it was made, if it was the 30s or 40s or 50s, somewhere in there. But, they never remodeled the booths, but I can't sit in them. There's no way. So definitely people have gotten bigger over the years, but it's because they're eating more junky food.
Yeah.
I think back then there's a lot more labor jobs. I mean, people worked harder too. I think that was part of it, as they were growing the country and so forth.
Definitely. So I do have an update for you real quick on the game. Tampa Bay just missed a field goal, so it's still 3-0 Buffalo.
Still 3-0. Yep, you're right, Michael, with the DoorDash and Uber Eats, it's getting worse. Go Buck. Yeah. South might rise again. You never know, I guess, the way things are going. Diet sodas. I still drink my my diet Pepsi. I got one right here. My one for the day that I allow myself. Keto Cheetos wanting to do some betting on the games. Yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting though. I mean, I'm glad that I'm taking charge of my life and making some changes, and I hope it catches on with people, as we all are, especially if you're on this, you're trying to watch what you eat and trying to make some changes. And I hope society kind of catches on and makes some changes, because it's definitely a problem, and I see it everywhere. And I want to be a solution to that. I guess, that's why I'm here, and why you're probably here too. You want to help make a difference in other people's lives. So, because it can be done. Let's see if you guys have anything. I was going to say, if anybody has any questions, we'll be having another guest on here pretty soon. But if you have any questions now, go ahead and put a Q in front of it, and we'll be happy to answer what we can for you and help you out with that. I just want to remind people that Brian and myself do now accept super stickers, super chats, and super thanks now. We appreciate your support on those. Also, I do have memberships available, and you can become the first member of my weight loss life club. I do have you hit the join button, and I do have one program available. Hoping to get some more programs set up though, where I do some more videos, live Q&As type of thing. But Brad is commenting here that the Vikings have turned the corner. He thinks that I don't know if you caught him earlier, but he thought the Vikings have played pretty well and shown that they can play some ball. So they definitely are working on it. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Things are kind of up in the air after seeing San Francisco lose 2 weeks in a row now. Before they were pretty dominant. I'm like, man, they're going to be hard to beat. But now it's like, well, they are beatable. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who comes around, I guess.
Yeah. The Eagles have had some tough games too.
Yeah. They seem to have a lot of help from the officials, though. Just like Kansas City. Are they shooting for a Kansas City, Philadelphia Super Bowl?
Maybe. I don't know.
So,
well, Buffalo's moving the ball. They're See, oh, that's a nice little move. They're inside the 40. They're about the Tampa Bay 37-yard line here, late first quarter.
Have you heard of any trades happen? I guess I haven't, but I know the trade deadline's coming up in the NFL. I know there's been rumors and stuff, but I just haven't heard anything concrete. If anybody knows anything, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm just not real sure,
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Especially these last few days with being away on vacation here. I haven't been paying attention to things as much as normal. So
yep. Oh,
yeah, Buffalo's got first and goal.
Yep, they're in the red zone. Buffalo is.
Yeah.
Brad's got a comment. What is the officials' record?
They're 15-0 right now.
Between college and pros, it's just
yeah.
Brian, did you ever see that Iowa Hawkeye football highlight with the guy in the invalid fair catch rule?
I heard about it, but I didn't watch it.
Oh, you'll have to look that up because it's a big controversy with what happened in that game, and you just kind of shake your head like, really? They called that an invalid catch because he ran it back for a touchdown at the end of the game, and they called it back, and it didn't look like a fair catch at all. So it was crazy. So I know you said Coastal Carolina has their homecoming this weekend. Is that game on Saturday then?
Yeah, it's Saturday at like 6:00, I think, something like that. They're playing Marshall. I think it's supposed to be on the NFL Network, so it's on TV. And I think I heard it's sold out, and like pretty much all the parking is sold out already. So it's going to be a pretty full place. Now, their stadium's kind of small. I think it seats like 27 or 28,000, so it's not very big. But it's, from what I understand, it's going to be a sellout. It's homecoming weekend. It's parents weekend. So it should be a great crowd. It should be a pretty fun atmosphere. So
now, is Coastal Carolina in the FCS?
So they are in FBS. They're in the Sun Belt Conference.
Okay.
So they're in with like Marshall and Appalachian State and those kinds of teams.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just wondering. My son last year, he went to South Dakota State, and they won the national championship in the FBS.
FCS, yeah.
FCS, yeah.
FCS, yeah.
I just didn't know if they're in the same, type of play or not. So
yeah, so no, the FCS has the the playoff
championship
for their national championship, and FBS uses the bowl subdivision and then just has like the 4-team playoff. Yeah. So they're in that, but they're a smaller conference, so they're not going to get into like the 4-team playoff or anything. That's going to be your big teams, right? So they have bowl games that their conference is associated with. So if they do well enough, they could play in a bowl game, but I don't think they're having that good of a year. I think they're like 3-4 or something like that. So,
yep. Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to anybody that's on Facebook that's watching tonight. We appreciate you being here, and you can catch this show on Facebook. I know Brian streams it there, and I stream it there. Just wanted to say hello if you're there watching. Once again, if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. We are open to that. And I guess a question for anybody out there watching, are you guys handing out candy for Halloween? Just put it in the comment if you are, and what you're handing out, at least, if you're going to hand out candy or if you're going to do something else. Brian, Thanksgiving's right around the corner, my friend. You get into after the Halloween, and it's like, it seems like the end of the year goes so fast. Pretty much you start getting into those holidays, and we'll have to be talking about some Thanksgiving stuff coming up soon, because it is right around the corner. That's for sure.
And this is the time of year that it becomes the most difficult for people to stick to their normal eating plan, if you want to call it a diet or whatever you want to call it, just because of all the temptations with the holidays. And it starts with Halloween with the candy, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
go into Thanksgiving and, you know, Christmas and all that. And it's New Year's is like a week later, right? So this is the time of year can be really hard. And I think this is where it's huge to if you don't belong to like a community like a Facebook group or something, at least um get active in the community, the low carb community, with watching YouTube videos of the different content creators and so forth, and those kinds of things are going to help you to kind of stay on track and be accountable and so forth.
Are you going to cheat and sneak a little Halloween candy? That's a good question, Brad. I'm going to try not to, because I know it can throw you off and affect you a little bit. I'm just going to try and stay away, because I just kind of look at that stuff now, and it's caused me a lot of pain over the years. So it's one of those things I'm definitely going to stay away from it. It's just not something that I want to get involved with, I guess. It's been around the house the whole time, and I tend to stay away from it. So I'll keep that trend going. How about you, Brian?
I'm planning on not having anything because we're planning on not having any candy even in the house. So that's the best way for me to not eat it. If there was some there, I probably would have at least a piece or two, which isn't probably necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know if that's going to cause me to crave it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stay away from it and not have it in the house, and I should be fine.
Yep. No, that sounds good. I do
Mhm.
have a couple more questions that came up here, but I do have our next guest who I'm going to bring in here, and hopefully she's ready to go. And hello, Becky. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying your conversation.
Well, good. I know. Becky's a regular on the show, and we appreciate that, and we like having you on too. So
Thanks.
I know last week I think I said we got to get you on again, and here you are.
Here
So
I am. Quick
yeah.
turnaround.
How was your day? Did you have a good day today?
I was so bored at work. My colleague is gone till the 16th. So
Oh wow.
nothing to do. So little to do. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos today. Then after work, I just finished teaching a Bible study about half an hour ago. So that a small group of women at my house come.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's.
yeah.
I was gonna say Gail said hello.
Hi, Gail.
Gail, the score is 3-0. Buffalo is beating Tampa Bay, and there's 14:09 left in the second quarter. And I think Buffalo is getting close to. Nope, I guess it is.
No, Tampa Bay's got the ball, and
Yeah,
I'm not sure what happened because Buffalo had the
I
ball, and
missed it.
now I see it's 3rd and 8 at like their own 2 or 3 yard line or whatever it is. I guess it must be the 3 yard line, something like that for Tampa Bay. So I don't know what happened. Maybe they punted and they pinned them at the 1 or something.
I don't know. You're ahead of me.
Yeah,
We usually are, I think.
I should have been able to tell you what just happened, but I don't know. I just saw.
so Buffalo almost intercepted the pass, but it just fell incomplete. So Tampa Bay has to punt from their own 3 yard line. So Buffalo's going to get good field position here.
Gail saying hello to Becky there, and then I've got Aaron also saying hello.
Hi, Aaron.
Oops. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining the show.
Hi, Cindy.
Glad you're here. And let's see here. There's Gail's. Makes sense, Gail. You got a friend that lives in Buffalo. Why not root for them, right?
I like that color of blue. I will root for them.
Brad said Tampa Bay D shut down the Bills on the 1. So,
okay.
Yep.
So he might return. Oh, okay.
I was gonna say
so
Tampa
they just returned the punt to the 23-yard line on the
I was
punt
gonna
return.
say Tampa already punted away. So
Yeah. So my oldest daughter's boyfriend is a huge Buffalo Bills fan, so I guess I'm kind of rooting for Buffalo here for him.
My dad lives in Florida. Should I root for Tampa? I don't know. Maybe. No, I was liking your conversation about the 70s, but I did a video about that. Like I have pictures of my dad's side of the family from the 40s, and they were obese. And I'm like, what were they eating? Like it wasn't processed foods, but Crisco was still a thing. Crisco came out in the 1910s or something like that. So I don't know if it's genetics or what,
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure. It just wasn't quite as common as it is.
It just wasn't as
nowadays.
common. No.
Yeah. I mean, there definitely were like, I saw something from Dr. Sean Baker, that was showing something. I think it was from like 1900, and it was supposed to be like the world's fattest man. And so there obviously were
Fat
big people back then, right? But the funny thing is, like, he kind of looked like an average person today.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big thing, I guess.
I started gaining weight after my second child was born. So that was 91. And I remember feeling like I was the only fat person in the room most of the time until recently. And I look around like you were seeing at the beach, everybody is fat. It's like,
I think portion sizes have got out of hand too, at restaurants and stuff. And I think that's part of it too, because it's like, remember when everything was supersized? Supersize me, for the fries, and just when you get a plate of food, there's just generally too much food on there. And we always like to eat it. I always was a member of the Clean Plate Club, so I always eat whatever's in front of me.
Hours a day. The drive-thrus are open all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so that the big meal thing at restaurants is definitely a United States thing. Yeah. Like, you go to other countries and the portions are much smaller, and you get people that visit here from other countries, and they're like, what is going on at your restaurants? There's like 3 or 4 times the amount of food that we eat at our restaurants back home. And it's like, so I don't know. I remember though, when I was a kid, like in elementary school, there was, a maybe less than a handful of kids that were overweight. And unfortunately, because there wasn't that many, they were really picked on.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's like almost everybody is. So in that sense, I guess they're not picked on for it necessarily. But it's sad, and it's not a good thing that so many people are overweight, and it's really hurting our society, I think. And I don't know what it's going to mean for the future if we don't change things around.
It does, because it comes with a package of ailments. It's not just size. It's that depression and anxiety and diabetes, and it costs so much, right? Like, it comes with so much of an impact.
Yeah.
Not good.
Sorry guys, I'm just writing something down I just got an idea for a t-shirt.
Oh, you guys were talking about, coming into the holidays. There's a meme that goes around. We've got the candy holiday, then we got the pie holiday, then we got the cookie holiday, then we got the booze holiday.
Yeah.
Like, what we really have is a sugar addiction holidays.
So we have a game update. The Bills just scored a touchdown. It's now 10-0.
Looks like Allen kept the ball and ran it in.
Yep.
So Gail was kind of amazed when she went to Australia, and you could load your plate so full of food for $5. It was in 1997. So I wonder if they're still doing that. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, I remember the buffets. There used to be buffets all over the place. And have you guys ever been to? I guess Brian, you've probably been to a couple buffets down in Florida, haven't you?
Well, I'm in South Carolina.
I'm sorry,
right
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, and what's interesting is that they do have a lot of bad food on that buffet for you. They probably would rather people fill up on that instead of prime rib and crab legs like I've been doing. So they probably don't like me. But
Like
yeah,
meat eaters.
there's all kinds of like biscuits and
Yeah.
mashed potatoes and just, bad stuff for you. That they have there's like a whole section in each place that is nothing but desserts. And it's funny because the one person that was with us tonight, they had a couple desserts on their plate and they started eating them. They're like, yeah, I don't know what it is about buffets, but their desserts don't taste good. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it probably doesn't taste good to me no matter what at this point. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, have some crab legs, have some
those
prime
are
rib.
good.
That's what I'm eating.
When I was a kid, whoever got the best report card got to pick where we'd go out to eat. And my choices were always either Chinese or the buffet place because they had mashed potatoes and corn. And that's what I would get, mashed potatoes and corn. And I don't know what else.
I just noticed it's been a while since I've been to a buffet, but I kind of look around when I go to the buffet and, I can say this because I've been a big person my whole life, but there's not too many skinny people that are eating at a buffet. Have you ever noticed that? I say that because I was one of the big people that are eating. So
the interesting thing is, at least by me, there's not very many buffets anymore. And I think Gail just commented on it at 9:00 about everything closing in 2020. It's kind of been the same way around me. But whenever you go to a touristy place, there's all kinds of buffets.
Yeah.
That's where, it's like they get you. And people are thinking like, oh, I'm on vacation, so I'm going to splurge or whatever. I'm going to eat differently. And if you've been trying to eat a certain way with a certain diet, that can get you off track. So you got to really be careful.
Hello, Joe from Wales. Awesome. Welcome to the show. Dumplings with country gravy, one of my weaknesses at buffets. Yep, that was always good. The stores really have changed since 2020. I mean, I remember Walmart, like here, used to always be open 24 hours. They aren't anymore, and a lot of places aren't. You used to be able to go to the grocery store and they were open all night too, and now they aren't, which is fine because I think people are going to come when you're open anyways. But it definitely has changed things.
Yeah.
What do you know, Joe? You are welcome. If you have any questions, go ahead and fire away. We'd love to answer some questions. I guess that, that kind of comes to our topic of the night since Becky's on. One, anybody that is on, make sure you smash the like button. It'll help us in the live stream, get it out there. But two, I was going to ask you Becky, how do you handle dealing with Halloween treats?
I do not buy them. I don't. I keep the house dark and I will be live streaming.
That's right. You have a show, don't you? What time does that start?
6 Pacific. So ignore trick-or-treaters with me, I called it.
There you go. I'll put Becky's channel up here. So make sure you go over and check out her channel and give her a sub. And she's definitely puts out a lot of content and she does a great job. So make sure you go over and support her and tune in on Halloween night. Check out her show. I think that'd be a good thing. I'll have to remember to do that.
If you need something to do to avoid them, or what for me was the bad thing was the next day. Yeah, when everything's discounted.
Yeah.
That's where I would be.
I remember we used to go to the stores and get the half price candy or whatever, especially when we had kids. I mean, and I ate most of it, unfortunately, because, I'm an all or none type of eater. And it's one of those things, an open bag of candy, it's gone because that's the way
I would lie to myself. I am buying this for Halloween. I'm buying this for the trick-or-treaters. Yeah. No, I wasn't. As soon as it came in the house, it was mine. Such a liar. Then I'd have to go buy more for the trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, we shouldn't. Yeah. We don't want to
Yeah,
trigger
Eric,
anybody, but
Eric, the game has been pretty low scoring. 10-0. 9 minutes left in the second quarter here. So good to see you on the show tonight. And Joe saying hello to Keto Cheeto.
I do have something that's not Halloween. I have to go to a work thing tomorrow, and I don't know what they're serving for lunch. It's a all-day thing. And you know what? There will be, they always have candy and stuff on the tables, little, I don't know.
Treats.
Treats everywhere. There's breakfast. There's lunch. I mean, there's breakfast at 8:15 and lunch at like 11:15. Like, really?
Oh, yeah.
and breakfast will be, donuts and all that. It's just
So
like
that
everywhere.
So I was gonna say that reminds me. So this goes back before 2020 because we've been things have changed in the workplace since then, right? But we used to have a lot of meetings and so forth in the office. So this goes back, I don't know, 5 years or so. Something that we'd have like these conferences that would last all day. And they'd have breakfast at from 8 to 9 or something, and then the conference would start. And then at 10:30 was a break, and they'd put candy out. They'd have candy and stuff for people.
Yeah.
And then at noon was lunch. And you do lunch from 12 to 1, and then there would be another break again at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and they'd have some cookies and pretzels or stuff like that. And then you'd go until 4 or 5 o'clock, and then you'd go for dinner.
Yep.
And kind of are thinking why do you have to eat every 2 hours? But then now that I eat the way I do, I kind of get it. It's you're eating all those carbs and the candy and so forth, the sugar, and it's constantly making hungry signals in your brain. So that's why everybody wants to eat every couple hours.
The sugar goes up and then it comes down.
Starts coming down.
And
so you got to do something
again. You never really get the full satiety feeling, right? So
yeah.
And you got to keep people awake, Sugar will do that for a little bit, right? But you got to keep giving it to them.
Right.
I don't know. I will probably eat some eggs before I go. Good night, Cindy. We got a to be continued here story.
Sorry.
Went to Fresno.
Interesting. Sorry, sometimes I mute when I have to type because it gets really loud and then I forget to hit the button to unmute it. Oh, we had a scoring update, it looks like, and a fight.
Oh, I made a few.
In the tent.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Kelly just got ripped off.
And the flag threw, so somebody's probably getting kicked out. Well, Tampa Bay made a field goal, it looks like, so it's 10-3.
Okay, I'm betting on that because it hasn't happened here yet. All right. Hi, Simpson.
Hello. How are you tonight?
Bye.
Brad was just saying his work events that he attends are always loaded with food.
You gotta pump up the willpower.
Yeah.
Gird yourself. Yeah.
So that's part 2 of the story she was telling.
Yep.
She got to go twice.
Yeah.
It was funny. My kids didn't like trick-or-treating. They didn't like going out door to door. It's not very nice in Oregon most of the time. So,
you
but
get a
they
lot of rain.
love passing the candy out.
You get a lot of rain there too, don't you? Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often, like most years, it's pretty rainy. It wasn't raining today, but it sure was earlier this week.
So I think that field goal was a 57-yarder, if I
Oh,
saw that
wow.
correctly.
That was a bomb.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Super hungry. Usually eat 2,000 calories, but today ate about 6,000. You
So I
know,
definitely. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
oh, I was gonna say, go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just gonna say I definitely have days that I get hungrier and I eat more than normal, but I couldn't tell you how many calories it is because I don't count calories at all. This is the only diet I've ever been able to do where you don't have to count calories, and for me, it's great because I don't even want to go into that discussion about calories, but yeah, I eat the food that I'm supposed to eat, the meat, and when I'm full, I stop. And I try not to eat again until I'm really hungry. Sometimes I think that there's some cravings that get in the way and tell me I'm hungry when I'm maybe not necessarily hungry. But for the most part, I don't eat again until I'm hungry. Usually that's twice a day. And yeah, I mean, there are some days though that I get hungrier and I eat more or eat more at one particular setting, but I couldn't tell you how many calories it is.
Go ahead, Becky. If you wanna...
I have probably never eaten that much on this way of eating, but I mean, for me, like even 2,000 calories would be a lot because I'm 5'2", right? Little. So,
yeah.
But I have a lot of stored energy on my body, so maybe that's why, But I've heard the people that are closer to their goal weights start getting that more of an appetite or more hungry feeling.
I definitely think there's a lot of things that can affect our hunger. Stress can cause some of that too. But I'm kind of a firm believer that, as the seasons change, our body kind of changes too. And I think sometimes we're much like animals, but right before winter, they tend to eat a lot more food. And I wouldn't be surprised if, it depends on where you're at, in the climate and so forth. But I mean, there's times it seems like I'm in the fall, I'm more hungrier than other times of the year where I want to eat a little more. Here a week or so ago, I was really hungry all week for whatever reason. So, I think it can happen. It can fluctuate depending on what's going on in our lives, where we live, all that kind of stuff. I think clearly it depends on what we're eating too. Yeah. Oh, let's see here. Go back to a couple. Yep. Sometimes I tend to get hungry late at night too, for some reason. Lately I make eggs if I'm going to do anything, eggs and butter. Usually that seems to help. Oh, looks like Brad's keeping me updated on the Wild game because I like the Minnesota Wild and they're getting beat 3-0. So for any hockey fans out there, 10 pounds to lose for Gale.
So I think Ellen just threw an interception, if I'm not mistaken here. Let's see the replay.
Fairly close.
Oh, yeah, so it was batted down or batted up in the air.
Who got it?
I think Tampa Bay intercepted it. I'm looking. Yeah. So Tampa Bay got an interception here. Looks like they're going to be at about the 25-yard line.
Those guys. Didn't he have quite a few picks last week? Didn't I read that?
Yeah, I think so. He's had a rough year. Allen has.
Yeah, that's not the same offense that we've been seeing the last couple years.
No. Oh, Tampa's going right down the field too. They're on the 3. So it's too bad we can't pull the game up on the screen. That'd be awesome, but we couldn't do that.
boot you right off of here. Okay, speaking
we
of
could,
healing,
but it would be our last live stream. So
yes, it would. Okay, so you guys have heard people talk about skin tags coming off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had not a skin tag, but they call them wisdom spots, seborrheic keratosis, right here on my face for months. And a few days ago, it started falling off, scabbing, and it's scabbed up, and now it's gone. There's just like a little right here. You can't see it because it's gone. You can't see it. I'm like, yep, that's healing. That's
interesting. That's great.
That's why I don't look as old as other 60-year-olds for sure.
And there is an update. Tampa Bay just threw a touchdown pass.
All right.
They haven't kicked the extra point yet, so assuming they make it, it'll be tied 10 to 10.
So we got a little
kick
close
is good,
game.
10 to 10.
6:46 left in the second quarter. So sorry, Brad. He said you guys are ahead of me on the game.
They're ahead of me too, Brad.
You know, I don't get it because I know Brad's got Hulu like I do, and for whatever reason, I get the score sooner. So it's kind of interesting. We have the same internet too, so.
Okay.
Tampa Bay's beating. Yep. See, we got a few hockey people on here for sure. I know Gail mentioned that before, and I know Brad, of course, watches hockey, and I do. Here's a question: anyone ever use beef tallow as a skin moisturizer? Have you guys heard of that? Or
yes, there are products out there you can buy too, like maybe that they have a little scent to them or something too.
Yeah,
but no, I'm not really. I'm not really a girly girl. I don't do a lot of makeup. I don't wear. I forget to use moisturizer. I'm not. So I've never really been a moisturizing person.
Yeah, I guess I haven't used that at all, but I'm sure there's people that do. So
they do. I turned 61 yesterday, actually.
There you go. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope you had a good day and everything went well for you.
It was another boring day. No. No, I spent my evening in the church nursery with all the little ones. That keeps me young.
No, that's great. Brad was saying he tricked his son predicting the interception. He was amazed.
That's good.
That's funny.
So we have to keep feeding Brad information so he
can say, and make sure you
this next play, this is going to happen.
Place a bet with them.
Go like this. I think, I predict. 32.
Look a day over 70. That's funny. Skin's already moist.
I hate that word. Don't use that word, Gail. Ugh. Hate that word. I had a coworker who used to just walk by me and say moist.
Here, she uses a tallow mixed with coconut oil and a bit of magnesium.
Oh,
okay. There you go. Another birthday wish here for you. Thanks. From Gail, Becky. No, that's awesome. It's funny, but each week that you come on, Becky, I notice changes in you.
Really?
So keep up the good work. You're doing great. So
it works.
I can definitely see it on your face and just sitting there. So congratulations. Keep going.
Yep.
You're doing amazing.
Fractions of inches every week when I measure, someplace.
And you know what else? Becky, you're always smiling.
Yeah.
Why not? Life's good.
Yep, definitely. It's always a joy having Becky on the show. That's for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Let's see here. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and throw them out there. We'll keep the conversation going on anything low carb. And, if there's anything you want to share that you do for Halloween, go ahead and throw it out there, or how you avoid temptation. Go ahead and put it in the chat.
Well, I got to tell you a Halloween story. So one year we lived out in the country and we didn't have trick-or-treaters, but my mom always prepared just in case. It wasn't so country. It was just kind of dark and a gravel road, right? There was houses around. So that night I snuck out the back door and came to the front door and rang the doorbell, and it was just me. And she was like so crushed. It wasn't a real trick-or-treater.
That's funny.
Poor mom.
That is funny. Well, Buffalo seems to be moving the ball back down the field.
Yeah.
Oh, Buffalo.
So what, Becky, what do you got going on your channel? What have you been up to lately? And, I try to watch them when I can, but I don't catch all your episodes. But what have you been working on? What kind of things you got coming up?
I just did kind of a what I eat in a day video the other day. Kind of was a little bit of a rant too, because some of the low carb people were feeling like they were getting some flack from carnivores, but I'm like, I've talked about my Diet Coke thing, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep drinking Diet Coke because I like it, and I just feel like I lost a lot of weight. I got rid of diabetes. I, got rid of depression and anxiety, doing what I've been doing imperfectly, inconsistently, but, I'm still doing it. Right. So maybe I could tighten things up. I'm tightening up my eating window right now. So I'm just talking about what I allow and what I don't allow, and how some of what I allow keeps me from going to binge foods, right? So I was talking about that the other day, and I'm going to be on November 4th. I'm going to be on Carnivore Backwoods Saturday evening. Just fun chat show, right? So that'll be fun. And then my Halloween night, ignore trick-or-treaters with me. I'm going to do that. I'm still doing my hikes, even though the weather's turning. I'm going to keep trying to get out. I've got plans for this weekend. And then I don't know if you guys have ever seen the user Tam Steak around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she lives here in Oregon. And we are thinking of getting together sometime in November for a hike outside of Corvallis. So might film that.
Going back to what you were just saying about the thing where sometimes some low carb people feel like certain carnivores kind of getting on them about the way that they that they're eating. That's one thing that gets me, like, that I have a hard time understanding. I understand that a person might want to eat a certain way, but that doesn't mean that they should make other people feel like they have to eat that way too.
Yeah.
Think about it. So let's say you're the person that is saying, like, oh, you have to, you can't have that Diet Coke or whatever. That's not good for you. Well, just think if it was the other way around and people are telling you, oh, you can't eat that meat. You have to eat this plant-based thing. Would you like it? No, you wouldn't, because you don't want somebody to tell you how you have to eat, right?
Yeah.
You feel as if it is your own right to eat the way you want to eat. Well, it's the same way for somebody else. So if somebody else is eating low carb and they're having a few things that you wouldn't eat, but it's working for them, why should it matter?
Yeah.
So
because
that always gets me.
I certainly understand if somebody has autoimmune stuff and they need to take it back to beef, salt, and water, right? I get that. But I don't struggle with those things. So,
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely people that have to eat that way. And then there's some people that can, like you, that can eat a low carb, but you're still eating some things and drinking some things that someone else wouldn't be able to, and you can do it and it works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's great. I
We
mean,
need to have that
not everybody should be
understanding.
exactly the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
not everybody should be exactly the same.
And none of those people were saying we're carnivores. I don't say that, so yeah.
Yeah. That's another one that gets me. Like, somebody will be like, oh, well, you're not a carnivore because you're eating cheese or whatever, and I don't consider that carnivore. Well, I don't really care, I guess, what it is that I'm
What you
eating.
label
If
it, the labels,
it's better than the way that I used to eat, right? It's better than the standard American diet. I'm getting healthier. I feel better.
That's what I was saying. Like a keto chow ice cream thing made from a packet of the keto chow and 4 tablespoons of butter is not the same as a bag of Chips Ahoy cookies that I would used to eat, right? It's like, it's not comparable. So get off my case. Nobody was on my case, but I'm saying as a policy.
There was a score update, by the way. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say Buffalo threw touchdown pass, and it is now 17-10 with 2:40 left in the second quarter.
A field goal.
So I gotta agree with what you guys are saying. I mean, I noticed it being keto for my first 85 pounds. I try to support anybody no matter what plan they're on. And sometimes I felt like I was pushed aside because I was not carnivore. I will say that. I felt like I wasn't welcomed by certain people. Not all, though. Like Brian, he welcomed me with open arms. But then there's others that not so much. It's like, well, I don't want to talk to you. You're not carnivore. I did get that impression a few times. Not saying that, I guess, that's why I named my channel what I did, My Weight Loss Life, because I realized that all these different plans work for people. Everybody's a little bit different. And I encourage anybody that's on a plan to be successful, because some things are going to work better for others. And I guess for me, I've tried all the plans and they all work. Yeah. So it's just one of those things that even when I was doing keto, though, there's a lot of keto police out there. There was in that community too. So, I mean, I think it's in any of those communities. Probably not so much low carb, but I'm sure there's some out there that are, that's not low carb. You're going to have people that have differences, but, do what works for you. And, if you want to have a diet pop, Pepsi, Coke, whatever, so be it. I mean, I don't drink coffee, so it's like, well, and I've been losing weight. So it's just one of those things that, I just encourage anybody, no matter what plan you're on, to be successful and support everyone. I mean, because everybody's trying to obviously improve their health, lose weight. And, somebody may do it a little different way, but I think there's many ways to the finish line. And I don't think that somebody should be shunned just because they aren't on a certain plan.
I was listening to a woman who's a type 1 diabetic who she's been trying to be keto. So generally that would be, 20 grams or less, whatever gets you into ketosis. Yep. But she was struggling with so many lows at night that she just can't. She can't do that. She's going to have to up her carbs because when she goes low, then she has to eat sugar to compensate. Right. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught the show earlier when Brad was on, or even last, I guess last week's show, you probably seen Brad on the show. He's type 1, but he's just low carb because I think he would probably have the same kind of trouble. Definitely. And, right here, like Brad says, everyone's fighting a battle you don't know nothing about, and that's true. So, and just catching up on a couple comments here. I definitely see what you're saying, Aaron. I've been watching your videos and stuff, and you're right. I agree with what you're saying too. So I think we're all in agreement on that one. And I just think sometimes people get caught up in what's working for them, and they think that's the only way to get there. And it's like, well, it isn't. But each person is different. Yep, there's nothing. If you can eat veggies and still be successful, why not? You know,
and
that's
some people can't do peppers or tomatoes or
Yep.
any nightshades at all or onions. Some people can't.
Yep.
You know,
Everyone is a little bit different for sure. Yep. For sure. Yeah, I think all those programs, though, or all those different plans, though, you're going to have definitely the police
yeah.
on some things for sure. So just don't take it to heart or let it bother you, I guess. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
But Brian, I guess, Brian, you've been carnivore for a long time. Have you seen a lot of that, do you think? Or do you see a little bit of it? Or I know you mentioned it a little, but.
Yeah. So this community, I think, is much better than other communities for that kind of thing. Definitely, like if you look at like vegans, they really jump on you if you do anything that goes completely against what they're thinking. So this community is better, but I do think that more recently there's been more negative comments like that. And I don't know if it's just because maybe low carb and carnivore are getting a little more popular than what they were. I mean, like if you look a year, 2 years ago, there was hardly any carnivore YouTube channels. There were a few low carb, but there was hardly any carnivore ones other than doctors, like just regular people, you know, doing the carnivore thing. There was like Carnivore Quest was probably about it. Just like in the last year, there's been an explosion on the number of carnivore related content creators. And so I think it's getting more popular, which is a good thing. But when you get more popular and you get more people into the community, you're going to have more of that kind of thing happening. So I guess that's the trade-off that you kind of have. And I think the key is, for as much as possible, the content creators need to try to explain that it's okay that everybody is different, and your definition of carnivore might be different than somebody else's definition. Somebody might say it's okay to have certain dairy products, and somebody else might say, no, that's not carnivore, but that's okay. That for them, it's not. For this other person, it is. And that's fine. And I mean, there's even some people out there like Lily Kane, who has tried to say more so that she doesn't really consider herself carnivore. She just considers she's eating the proper way, because when she says carnivore and then she shows a certain thing that she's doing, they're like, well, that's not carnivore.
Eats fruit.
And I mean, she's you know, one of the most popular content creators out there. So you know, it's, I guess that you've got that double-edged sword there, but it's good to have more people talking about carnivore and more people, you know, jumping on to carnivore or low carb. So yeah, I think it you know, as content creators, it's our part though to remind people that it's okay. It's okay that somebody might eat this particular thing or that particular thing, because everybody is different. And you know, some people are going to thrive better by eating a particular way, and somebody else can't do that, and they just have to get stricter with it, and that's fine, and they do what works for them.
Right. And I think that's the whole key. Do what works for you. And that's the bottom line, you know, on all these different plans. And, you know, I switch back and forth between the two. Like, Brian, I don't even know if you know this, but I'm not carnivore now. I went back to keto for a little bit. Because, like, I had 3 weeks of not losing anything.
Spectrum.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, you know, I'm going to go back to this for a little bit again, and doesn't mean I won't go back to carnivore, but, you know, I like to keep my body guessing a little bit, and it's one of those things. I feel a little bit better right now, and I think I was just getting kind of burned out, and I felt like I just needed to eat, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I just needed to do something different.
Well, I know we were talking about, it was like a week or so ago, where you were saying like, I'm, you know, haven't really seen the needle move here, and I think I need to do something. And that's
Yeah.
the reason why you went full carnivore to begin with, right? Because you
Right.
need to see the needle move again. And that's another key point. Just
Mhm.
because this is exactly the way you eat right now doesn't mean that's the same way you're going to eat a month,
Right.
6 months, a
Mhm.
year from now. You're
Exactly.
going to tweak things as you go. You're going to tweak things to make your body work better or what your body wants. And yeah, that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah. I recommend it, to be honest. I think that's how I was able to lose 100 pounds in a little over 8 months, because I did tweak it and do some different things and challenge my body a little bit on the diet and not
Listen.
get it too comfortable, you know?
Yeah. There's something to it getting too comfortable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You definitely got it.
And you know, let's talk about Dr. Sean Baker for a minute, because everybody looks at him and they're like, he eats steak every day. That's it. Well, no, that's not necessarily it. He's predominantly steak, but even he will tell you that he will occasionally have a treat.
Right.
So, you know, you got to do what is right for you and what's right in that situation. And maybe you do want to have a treat sometimes or switch things up, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
had a craving last night for broccoli, of all things. And so I had some. That was a weird thing, kind of out of the blue, but it's like, that sounds really, really good.
Yep. I had some broccoli.
And I haven't
last
had
night.
any for months.
Yep. You know, that's the thing I'll say too. I mean, even when I was doing keto, I would once in a while do a cheat meal. And you know what it would do? It's almost like it'd reset my metabolism and I'd start losing weight again. So it's almost like your body just, like I said, it in a way, I think sometimes a cheat meal isn't a bad thing. It will help your body reset its metabolism and you'll go again. So, you know, you can't rule that out, especially if you've been stuck a while and you've been doing the same thing and you're not going anywhere. It's like, well, have a cheat meal. I'm not saying go crazy, but maybe you have more carbs than you normally would. See if it shakes it up a little bit for you, and all of a sudden you start moving the other direction. Because I had that happen several times, and it worked. So you got to do what works and what works for you. So
you can do that without loading yourself up with oxalates or lectins or whatever, right? You can do it without having seed oils and those kind of things.
Yeah, for me, it was going to the Mexican restaurant, and guess what? I had some chips and salsa with that taco salad. It worked. So it's like, I love Mexican food. So
I had to go out for a work thing last week, a luncheon, and it was at a pho restaurant, and that's rice noodles. And I'm like, well, and I had the brisket pho, and I was just eating the meat, but then it was like getting weird, right? Everybody else is eating, the rice noodles. And so I had a little bit, and it didn't spike my blood sugar or anything. And then I did drop a couple pounds over the next couple days. So go figure.
Yeah, I think if a person doesn't allow themselves to go totally off the rails, it's like, hey, you'll have some success, burning it off. Our bodies become a little bit different as we lose weight, and they become a little bit more efficient in handling things. So, sometimes we can withstand those extra things that we eat. So, especially if your body's maybe lacking it, or it's something that your body hasn't had, all of a sudden you feed it this food that you haven't been eating, and it's like, what's this? And it consumes it. And,
we are, I think I said this in my video the other day, we are supposed to be metabolically flexible because we can burn glucose and we can burn fat, right? It's not, but what does the body really prefer? It prefers the fat, right? So it's not that it can't do it, but then the problem comes if all you're doing is feeding it the carbs 24/7, then that really burns out your system. That's what causes all of the health problems. So
right. Gail's going back to drinking coffee, but she just doesn't want the pain, which, that's understandable. That's one thing I'll say lately, now that it's getting a little colder. So far I'm crossing my fingers, but I have not had the arthritis pain like I did. So I'm hoping that continues. Sounds like the Minnesota Wild scored in the hockey game. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead and throw them out there.
We just hit halftime in the NFL game. It's 17-10 Buffalo.
Nice. Well, at least it's a good football game, so close. Who says cheaters
Cheeto does. Well, I hate that we even call it that, to be honest. Calling it a cheat or a treat. To me, it's a choice.
Right.
I'm making a choice.
And life does happen too. It's one of those things that I can say, even though I lost that 100 pounds, I had my share of a couple shares of treats, but I tried to really steer clear of it because in the end, it does hurt you a little bit, or will slow your progress a little bit. But I'll say this, since I hit my 100 pounds, I've been a little more lax on what I eat. I'll get back at it again. I think my body just needed a break because I worked pretty darn hard to get where I was, but I'm not concerned. It's one of those things. It's like, I'm not gaining weight. I may not be losing like I was, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the way I feel.
I lost a good portion of what I wanted to lose. So it's like, okay, I don't care if I lose a pound a week, as long as I head down, the other direction, or even half a pound, it's like, I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable. Yeah. I'm feeling better. And that's what it's about.
Aaron and I were talking about how, it's never this linear, it's me, it's it's always just, and at my age and my hormone situation,
sure,
it's harder. It's just harder.
We'll see in a little bit, Gail. Yeah. Yep. Everybody's body's a little bit different for sure. And we all face different challenges, and that's part of it too, but Gail's going to be eating some dinner. It's going to be on Instagram. So Becky, what else you got going on your channels? I know you have your Halloween. Do you have any other interviews or any other type of things coming up?
Yeah, just the no interviews or anything. Just the chat night with John on Carnivore Backwoods on the 4th. And in December, I'm going to be on the Lioness Lifestyle Live.
Yeah.
So nice. That's to me, that's a privilege, because that's an amazing time.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Trying to think here. So Brian, what kind of projects are you working on coming up? I know you're on vacation and stuff, but have you thought about, I see you got an interview coming up with Dr. Hampton coming up. That's cool. Is that right?
Yeah. So nice. Dr. Tony Hampton, that's in November.
Okay.
Let's see, November 12th. That's a Sunday at noon. So that'll be a good live stream. We're going to do a live stream together. Let's see, what do I have going on? So next Friday, I'm going to be on Sana and Cindy's live stream. That's Friday. So Friday, November 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to be on that live stream.
I love that one, because that's during my work day. When it's the most boring on a Friday afternoon where there's nothing to do.
Yeah, I was on that. I was on their show last Friday, and that was fun. There was a lot of people in there. It was a good time. And
Cindy is very popular with the Two Crazy Ketos, group of people. So she has that.
Yeah, I could tell they had quite a following, and that was good to see. It was nice to see different people in there, and it was a good time. So you'll enjoy that.
Yeah. So a couple other ones I guess I want to bring out. Then Sunday, November 5th, Carnivore Trucker and I are going to be going live together. That's going to be a 7 p.m. time slot, Eastern time. And then Wednesday, November 8th, Carnivore Soldier, he has a hump day live stream he does every Wednesday, and I'm going to be on that on November 8th. And so those are the ones leading up to Sunday, November 12th, when Dr. Tony Hampton and I will be live together. So that's going to be a great time.
We should.
So a lot of live content coming up, and when I get back, I'm probably going to work some more on some offline recordings for, normal content that I usually put out. Haven't really done anything here recently with being out of town here, but I'll start working on those when I get back next week. So,
who did a great video this week was Who's Your Carnivore? The one he did on the tips for the holidays was really good. Check it out.
I don't think I've seen their video before. So their channel even.
Yeah.
So
Who's Your Carnivore?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You always learn about new channels when you're doing this stuff. And, usually when I do interviews, I like to ask people, who are they watching? And you usually learn of a few different names, which is kind of cool because it's always good to see what new people have to say or other people that you're not used to seeing, see what kind of ideas they're implementing and what they're doing. It's kind of fun.
If you need to know how to roast a chicken, Erin over there at low, what is it? What is she? The Carbist? Low Carbist? Yeah. Mm-hmm. She'll show you how. Her and her coffee.
Yeah. Her and Nicole had a funny show last week. They were on for like a couple hours, but that was
hilarious.
Couple Jersey girls. It was funny.
Off the rails. They were
definitely. So all right. Let's see. You stalled after losing 30 pounds the first month. I've been trying to increase my calories since. When I track, my calories were way below 1,000 a day. Wow. Yeah, it's probably almost too low there.
That's too low.
Yeah. So I think 1,000
starvation mode
below 1,000, right? That's going to slow down your metabolism. If you're not eating enough, it's going to slow down your metabolism.
Your body just says it starts storing everything.
Yeah. The one thing I would say to keep in mind, whether it's some sort of low carb, keto, ketovore, Atkins, carnivore, whatever it is, if you're doing the low carb, high fat, don't look at it as in cutting down the amount you're eating. You want to make sure you're eating a good amount. And that means eating until you are truly full. And, if it means you need to eat a couple times a day as well, then do it. Don't think just because there's some people out there that are eating once a day that I should just eat once a day. No, you might need to eat a couple times. Maybe you can't eat as much in one setting as somebody else does, for instance. So you need to eat a couple or maybe even 3 times a day. So make sure you're eating enough because not eating enough is going to slow down your metabolism. I know the thought process is like, well, my body's going to use the energy from my body fat, but you still need to make sure you're eating enough. Mm-hmm. You got to keep everything going. You got to get enough nutrients into your body, keep your body working and performing at the right level that it should be. And then you're going to see the weight loss start up again.
Usually fat has more calories too. So, I mean, if you're only eating 1,000 a day, you're probably not eating enough fat, which will make a difference. And like you said, it depends on the type of weight loss plan you're on or diet, you can say, but definitely I would try to bump up them calories for sure a little bit. That should help you drop some weight because you're definitely more probably in starvation mode, like Becky was saying. You're starving yourself a little bit, and that's hard to drop weight doing that for sure. Becky, she's saying try to eat some spicy rice noodles and see what that does.
Well, not recommending it. They really, the broth, what I liked about this place was the broth didn't taste sweet. I didn't have an MSG, like at some places you might get that feeling afterwards. I would normally get really swollen hands if I encountered MSG. So it felt really clean. And so I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt.
I was just going to say, I asked you guys kind of about your channel. I got to say, this is the quietest it's been for me. And I kind of wanted it that way. I don't have any interviews next week, which is like the first time in a long time. Not that I don't want to, but I'm kind of taking a break because I'm in the process right now of, I'm a little bit worn out with doing so many videos and stuff. But I'm so close to my YouTube goals, though, for watch hours that I got to continue to push on. It's hard because I don't really want to make videos right now, but I really need to. So But I'm kind of in the process of looking for a job. So I've got to spend some more time on my resume, putting out applications. Plus, I'm still taking care of my mom's and I'm doing YouTube. It's just, there's a lot going on. And let alone I'm trying to, hopefully keep losing weight myself. So, there's just a lot going on. But it's one of those things I definitely like to interview people, and it's kind of fun to do that, and you get to learn about them and learn what they're doing. And, that's probably one of my favorite parts of having a channel is just interviewing people and talking to people, or even doing this. I mean, it's just fun because you get to see what other people are doing and you get to meet a lot of people. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm definitely a little wore out, but I'll get through everything. And like I said, I didn't really plan anything for next week because I just need to take a little bit of a break and focus on a couple other things. But I'll keep putting out content. I've already got my video made for Monday, and then I'll just do a couple more next week. And but nothing in the works. I don't have any interviews set up right now. My schedule's wide open, so that's the nice thing. But I'm not going to do any interviews next week. I'm just going to take a break. So
I just find that I have so many other things that I do at church, and like Sunday's a youth group, Monday babysitting for somebody. I'm like, where do I fit this in? I got Wednesday night nursery, Thursday Bible study. It would be hard to fit in the interviews and things. So I just kind of try to get my update in every week and try to go on a hike and film that. And as Aaron and I like to say, we ramble. We're just rambling. I don't think like, oh, I want to talk about this. Video about it. But.
So, Greg, I don't know if you put this one up on the screen. Do you see Michael's comment at 9:48 or 8:48 your time?
8:48.
I have a question.
No, I don't see that one. Okay.
There we go. All right. So there was days I was probably getting around 700 to 800 a day, but I wasn't hungry at all and would be stuffed after eating 2 burgers, 2 eggs, and some sausage throughout the day. So I do have a question here. And this is what I'm guessing is probably the answer probably is going to be yes to this. But my question is, so you're saying there were days. So are you saying that there were some days that I did that, but then other days that I ate more? Because that's what I'm kind of thinking is the answer here. Because if you did that every day, you would get to that point of that starvation mode thing that we were talking about, that your metabolism is going to slow down. So like Simpson was talking about, she was eating 1,000 calories a day. My take was that Simpson was doing that pretty much every day. And that then your metabolism slows down. My thing for Michael is there's probably some days Michael is eating that way, and then some days that Michael is eating more. And then that's going to be different than if you're constantly eating that way every day, where your metabolism is going to slow down.
That's where people can start employing fasting. Probably when they don't feel that hungry.
So that was going on for over a week or two, doing that.
And I mean, that would be the interesting thing to see. So was that something that just happened for a week or two and then you went back to eating more, or is that just where you're at right now and it's been a week or two? Because like people sometimes, I mean, there are people that fast for as much as 5-6 days sometimes. So I could see where you might be eating less for that long. You could probably even do it for a month, but you're going to get to a point that you're going to find that you're not losing any weight, and you might even be starting to feel more tired than normal. And you need to up how much you're eating. So I really highly doubt that you can sustain that little amount of eating for longer periods of time. Short periods of time, yes, but it's not going to help, other than maybe for short periods of time. It's not going to help with your overall idea of weight loss, fat loss, that kind of thing, and keeping your body nice and healthy. Yes, there are definitely advantages to fasting and doing short periods like that. But if you're doing it every day, several weeks, you're going to break down to a point that you need to eat more.
I was going to say, kind of forcing yourself to eat. Yeah, kind of stalled a bit for a while on weight loss.
Yeah.
The other thing too, I mean, one thing I noticed too with counting the calories, or I did quite a bit of that with keto because I'd eat about 1,300 calories a day doing keto. Sometimes we forget about the little things that have calories, like butter, for example. If you put on a tablespoon of butter, you're adding quite a few calories on there that sometimes we forget about. So, keep that in mind too. I mean, make sure you add, if you have a day like that, make sure you add some butter. That'll give you more calories. It depends on the type of diet you're on. I mean, if you're on a carnivore, you can't eat olives, but if you're on a keto diet, you can eat olives. Olives, you add quite a bit more fat. I did that trick many times where my fat ratio wasn't quite there at the 70%. I'd eat olives and that'd bring me up. But obviously that's not a carnivore item. That'd be more like a keto diet. Because there is little foods out there that will help you kick up your calories and your fat content. So definitely that is probably on the low side for calories. Like I said, I'd want to be 12, 1,300 or more, a little bit more, probably. But, and yeah, sometimes
none of that stuff they were eating is particularly fat, really.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. Okay, Michael's a big guy like Bill. Okay. Interesting.
So yeah, that is interesting because Michael may be able to do that for a longer period of time because of his body holding the stored body fat.
Yep.
Michael, how much weight have you lost? I'm just curious, since you started a weight loss plan. Michael's been on a lot of our live streams, and I just want to thank him for coming in because he's been pretty regular on here as well. And there's several on here that are here every week, and we appreciate every one of you for coming in. That's for sure. It's always nice to see familiar names. And so 100 days, you lost 55 pounds.
Wow.
That's congratulations. That's great.
Yeah.
Yep. You're gonna, that's the other thing too. You're gonna have times where you do kind of stall a little. I mean, that's normal. That happened to me many a times. I'd kind of lose my weight in chunks. That's where you just keep working the plan. I'm a little concerned that your calories are down there, but you do have the excess, stored fat there that your body probably will burn. But I would definitely like to see your calories come up, and not so much your calories, but just make sure you're eating enough fat, because it takes fat to burn fat. So keep that in mind.
It's something else I want to mention here. So Michael, I'm pretty sure the name Michael is a guy, and Simpson is a female. So their weight loss are going to be totally different.
Yep.
A guy is going to lose weight quicker, and a lot more weight than a female will. So Simpson, keep that in mind as well. Your weight loss is going to go slower. And I don't know, how big you are compared to Michael too. Like the bigger you are, the more weight you're going to lose. Like you'll see people on YouTube that has talked about how they've lost a lot of weight. I'm one of them. Greg's one of them. But we were really big. So that right. plays into it too. But we're also guys, and we're going to lose weight quicker than females. That's just the way the difference is between a male body and a female body.
Yeah.
And also, like Limitless Lindy, she had horrible lymphedema. So that is a totally different process for getting that. That is going to come off really fast once you start healing. So, somebody that's not normal to lose 100 pounds a month, was unique to her. So you just can't compare. I've lost 27 pounds in 4 months. So
that's great though. You're talking 7 pounds a month. I mean, that's nice. I mean, that's a nice number. There's nothing wrong with that.
There isn't.
So I got a quick game update,
Okay.
so that Brad can fake out his son again. Gabe Davis just caught a touchdown pass, touchdown Bills. Extra point coming up. Nice. It's 23-10 of the extra point, and the extra point is good. It's now 24-10. So go ahead and predict that next play there, Brad.
Okay. I was going to say Michael's got lymphedema as well. Really bad.
Yeah. Well, she worked, really closely with those people over at Steak and Butter Gang, and they do that priming thing where you eat like it's your job. And I don't know how it all works, but
yep,
they keep those calories pretty high. I know.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
His name is the guy who's doing the lives with Limitless Lindy. Todd is doing that now.
The Carnivore Cure.
Like eating so much, thousands of calories a day right now.
Yeah. So Professor Bart K did this when he went through a period where he just did really strict carnivore, right? And he talked about this in different videos and so forth. And the way he started, it was exactly the same. He ate as much as he could. He stuffed himself for like 2 to 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks.
And he actually lost weight doing that. Mm-hmm. And that was part of his thing of going complete, straight, strict carnivore. Before that, he was eating like, I think he would have some, I can't think of the word, yogurt or something like that. Maybe something else with his food. So he wasn't completely, completely strict carnivore or whatever. But when he did that, yeah, he ate quite a bit of food every day to start the first 2 to 3 weeks as he went strict carnivore. And that's that whole, like the guy Michael's got right there about that priming thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lost weight.
That's interesting.
It is. The body's a mysterious thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I saw, there's a woman I saw, Kelly Hogan interviewed. Boykin is her last name. Can't remember her first name, but she's my age, and she had to go up to like 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day, and then she started losing weight. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think I would be hard pressed to eat that much. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I remember when Bart K did it. Because I come from a diet
mentality, but I don't know.
Well, when Bart K did it, he had videos that he was putting out about it, and he talked about how he really struggled to try and eat that much because his body just wasn't used to eating that much. But it was really to the point where like he was kind of making himself uncomfortably stuffed just to eat that much.
Yeah.
But he did lose weight doing it.
Yeah. But what's ironic is I could have eaten several boxes of cereal, a dozen donuts, a pizza, cookies, all day long, probably. And never felt satisfied. But you can't really do. It's not that comfortable with me.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Michael, you're doing really good, and just keep plugging away, and make sure if you need extra help or help with some of this, make sure you reach out to someone for sure with this. We aren't medical experts, but we kind of share what's worked for us. But, you definitely have a lot of people on your team cheering for you and wanting you to do well with this. So keep plugging away, my friend. And that goes for anybody on here. That's why we do these things and try to help make a difference for people and help motivate people and keep people on task. So keep up the good work.
And just to reiterate, I know Lindsay says this all the time, but Steak and Butter Gang does have a free forum on Mighty Networks that you can go and get all of the information. But I mean, you can pay to have a coach too if you want, but you can also just go there and get the information from everybody else in the group. They're all in there all the time. So,
yep. hopefully you tune. I know Todd and Lindy do stuff together. I think they have a show on Monday nights. I don't know if you tune in for that, but they definitely. I know they like to help people, especially that people that maybe walk kind of in their shoes where they're extremely overweight, just because they understand. And I think that's kind of why they got together. And I think that they're being successful what they're doing too. So yeah, there's a lot of good people on here. That's for sure. Well, looks like Tampa Bay's maybe moving the ball a little bit.
Yeah, they're close to midfield. I think they got a third down play coming up here though. 9 minutes to go, third quarter, 24-10 Buffalo. Yeah, it's gonna be 3rd and 5 for Tampa Bay.
Oh, good, Michael. Michael says he is in contact with them.
Oh, cool. Let's see here. Yeah, that's
I never
great.
miss their show either.
Yeah, no, that's great. I can't always hit them, but I'm glad that you found them. And yeah, I remember when I first talked to Todd. I gotta have him back on because we were gonna do a live, and then I think him and Lindy had something scheduled, and then the dates got mixed up because she's overseas. So her Monday and his Tuesday were ended up being the same, and we had a live and we had to cancel, and I haven't had a chance to have Todd back on, but I was going to kind of do a follow-up interview with him. I'll have to get that scheduled. Todd's a good guy. I like him.
So articulate. Love him.
Yep. So
he understands the big picture and can, just.
Yep, definitely.
Puts it all perfectly into words.
Looks like Tampa Bay's putting the ball away.
Yep.
Yeah, I know they've been really busy with his brother's company and the engineering stuff that they do, and definitely. Well, Brad's giving an update in the Wild game. It's Philly 6, Minnesota 2, 2:45 left in the third. So it looks like Philadelphia is going to beat the Wild tonight. I'm assuming you're referring to Limitless Lindy, and the Carnivore Cure. So they just
streamed both.
Yep, they do a live. I think it's Monday nights, if I'm not mistaken. I'll maybe see if I can find that and put the link out. Let's see if I can do that here.
Yeah, here's Todd's channel.
Oh, do you got it?
And Michael just posted.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Well, oh no, that's their names. I'm sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
But yeah, that's Todd's channel. Let me bring hers up.
Wow, 10 days ago they were on for five hours. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then this last show was 2 hours.
So I was like, how could you sit there that whole time?
There we go.
All right, and there's her channel. Now I got posted as well.
Hey, I got to step out a second, Brian. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So how warm is it where you are? Is it comfortable or is it chilly down there?
Yeah, it's comfortable. It's been like upper 70s for the most part. I think today might have been like 80, 81.
Wow.
But it's been sunny. So it's like upper 70s, but it feels like low to mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. It's not too hot, but it's not cold or anything. The one morning was kind of cold. It was like 45 or something in the morning, but by like 10 a.m. it was like 65 already. So it warmed up fairly quickly.
And not humid this time of year?
Yeah, no, it's not too humid. Good. We've been on the beach every day so far.
Nice.
Yeah, getting some good vitamin D from the sun and stuff. So So it's been nice.
I
And it
hear.
hasn't rained all week. It's not supposed to rain all week while we're here, at least, so that's good. So it's been great weather, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like a 10-degree difference today. Like it was 43 this morning and it maybe got up to 53 here.
Mm.
So, that's why I'm wearing a jacket still. It's still cold.
And there's Limitless Lindy's link for her channel.
I would listen to her just for her accent. I think it's so fun.
Yeah, if anybody has a channel that's watching this tonight, go ahead and post it as a comment. That way others can see where your channel is, and we try to go to those channels and check them out as well. So if you have a channel, go ahead and promote it in the comments. I know I put Becky's up here a couple times, but I'll throw it up here again. And I know me and Brian are on the bottom on the ticker. I'll put that back on too. So. Well, the game's starting to get out of hand a little bit. It looks like Buffalo's ball.
Buffalo's up by 14. If they score another touchdown here, they're going to kind of separate themselves a bit, where it's going to be tough for Tampa Bay to come back. Still third quarter, but 3 scores makes it pretty tough.
Baker Mayfield, which team would you like to go to next? No. Just kidding.
Yeah, I heard it was like around 80, low 80s in the Midwest the other day. So my mother-in-law is back in Michigan visiting right now, and she said it was like 81 there wherever she was in Michigan. So it has been kind of warm. It's nice. I mean, you look at it, it's almost November. That's great to have that kind of weather, isn't it?
Definitely.
Very nice.
I'm trying. It's 63 right here in Mason City in northern Iowa tonight, which is amazing. Yeah, it's 63 degrees. It's been kind of rainy today, but
oh my goodness.
Yep. Tomorrow's 61 for a high, and then Friday we have a 40% chance of snow, and it is a high of 34 degrees.
Oh my gosh!
Welcome to Iowa. Yeah, even next
48
week.
right
I mean, so after Friday, like, okay, they're saying high Saturday 34, Sunday 35, a high on Monday of 36, Tuesday 33, Wednesday 37, and then Thursday 46, Friday 48, and Saturday the next Saturday 53. So we get the swing in Iowa of weather. It could be cold, it could be hot.
It's going to be 38 when I get up tomorrow.
Oh
wow. What to wear? A sweater. Big sweater. I've got myself planning on, I'm doing a 5K walk on Thanksgiving morning. That's a fundraiser for our local food bank. And I'm like, that weather is going to be really bad. But I'll be out there with all the other people commiserating together.
Yeah.
So you had me curious. I had to see. It's still 72 degrees right now in Myrtle Beach. It's 10:13 p.m. So that's nice.
That's so nice. I'd be sitting outside.
Yeah. Well, I would, but you'd probably hear nothing but waves.
Waves.
Because we're right on the ocean front here. So nice. Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't know if you could tell, I did a video the other day where I used my phone and the lighting was just horrible. But
it was bad, I remember.
I went out on the patio and I could hear the waves. I don't know if you guys could hear the waves, but I'm like, oh, I don't know how well this is going to turn out. The lighting's bad. I can hear waves in the background, and I'm like, I'm going with it. I don't care.
Were you on the balcony on that one, or?
Yeah, I was out on the balcony. Yeah.
You could still see you and stuff, though. I mean, I knew where you were, but it was like, yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do, right? You did a pretty good job of getting videos out this week, considering you were on vacation and stuff, and you really planned ahead on that.
Yeah, I had a couple that are already scheduled out ahead of time. And then the one that I did, where I took pictures and some video while we're here, and then did the phone video thing that I recorded for that one. So I'll probably try and do something else, hopefully. Yeah, I'm thinking that this week before I go, but we'll see. So maybe I'll get some video during the football game on Saturday.
I liked your crab legs photo.
Oh, I got a good one today. I had like 3 clusters on a plate that I took a picture of. So in the video I did the other day, I talked about, so we went to Krabby Mike's, and I talked about how we like the pirate table one too. And so we went to the pirates table, or whatever it's called, tonight, or this evening, whatever it was. But they have mermaids there usually, but
in a tank?
Yeah, they have like a live, mermaid thing. But they didn't have it today. It said, sorry, no mermaids today. So that was kind of disappointing, because I was going to take video of that and put that on the YouTube. But yeah.
Who wouldn't have wanted to see that?
I got to say, though, the prime rib at this one was better than the one at Krabby Mike's. Krabby Mike's was a little too done.
Yeah.
You could tell that. Done. This one, I don't know if I ever took a picture here, but this was good prime rib. It was like what you would expect, like, medium rare or rare type. It was good. So
that's
Northwestern Iowa. Wow.
Northwest Iowa. See, and she said there it's 42, and where I'm at it's 63. I mean, that's a 21-degree difference in the same state. And it's not like, I'm 3 hours probably from the western border of Iowa. So it's just, it's wild, but it's the way Iowa is sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see Tampa Bay's got the ball.
Well, that's what I
guess Buffalo must have punted, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they must have didn't score, that's for sure.
Yeah. They're at their own 5-yard line, though.
Oof.
Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 7 at the 6. The last time they were pinned deep like that, Buffalo had a nice punt return and scored really quickly. So let's see what happens on 3rd down if they force them to punt again.
So, Becky, did you like the interview I did with Diane in the van?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I had seen her channel before, but yes.
Yeah. Her channel really grew.
And I also have been down the van life rabbit hole for years now. There's several people I've followed for years.
Oh, wow.
I'm intrigued by that lifestyle. I actually don't like all the vans in my town parked it all over the place, but it's pretty bad here in Eugene. But
yeah,
I don't know where she is living in Oregon though. So
yeah, I'm not sure. You may get an idea from her van channel, I'm guessing.
Maybe,
but yeah. Yeah, she does carnivore from her van. But Brian, you probably didn't see it, but I did an interview with the frugal carnivore, and she lives in a van and she does carnivore out of her van. So that was released. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday?
Yep. No, Tuesday. I'm sorry. No, Tuesday was the interview. It was on Wednesday. Yeah, it was yesterday. It came out. So, but yeah, she's a real nice lady, and
she's real nice.
Yeah, very likable.
That lives with her.
It was nice talking to her, and
but like a lot of van life people, she got into it before she built her van outright.
Yeah.
And they find
Yeah.
You need to do so much to make it right.
Thank you, Gail. Yeah, it was a good interview. She's a, I don't know. She's very pleasant, and like I said, I think she just grew her channel really fast. I think I subscribed to her Carnivore channel and she had like 200 subs, and the other day I looked and she's like 2,600.
Wow.
And she's got like 5 videos out of them. I asked her off camera, I'm like, teach me, because it's like, I don't know if she's listening tonight. If she is, hello, Diane. But yeah, she's great.
All right, so quick update on the game. Tampa Bay punted. Buffalo appeared to get a pretty good return up to midfield, but they were called for holding. So it looks like, I think it looked like they were going to be around the 25-yard line. So instead of having really good field position, they got pushed back. Still a 14-point game. I think it's late third quarter at this point.
Okay.
Oh, here you go, Becky.
There she is. I was talking about you.
She redid it here.
Hi, bye.
And you guys are going to be hanging out, right?
We're talking about it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You should do that. Do a little collaboration and
do a little hiking.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
She's lost. What have you lost? Damn, 120 pounds or something?
That's awesome.
I don't know why that's in my brain. It might be less.
She said, yeah. So, Yep. That's awesome. Congratulations. Brian, you got somebody saying hello to you. Good day, Brian.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
That's okay, Running Tap. They change the rules every year, so none of us do. What is wrong with my Prime? I'm flickering.
Oh, Gail posted her meal on Instagram. I don't think I'm following her on Instagram.
I got to go check it out now and see what she ate.
What's your username on Insta?
I'll give it to you in a second. I know I got her in here. Let's see. How do I find her?
Oh, search line.
Oh, here you go. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, did she post it? Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Gotcha.
Here's a question for us too. What do you all do when you're tempted by bad food?
Oh, so before we go into answer that, just talking about Gail's dinner.
Yeah.
Ground beef with goat cheese crumbles and butter. That looks good.
Interesting.
Ooh, chili. Tam had chili. Ooh, yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Good.
So
I gotta go check this out. So
what do y'all do when you are tempted by bad food? Becky, do you want to start that one?
Okay. Well, it kind of depends where the situation is. If it's like a social thing, I will just say I can't. I remind myself. I'll say I'm allergic to that. If it's me driving around, I remind myself I have food at home I can eat. It's hard. It's hard. It's going to be a struggle for me for a long time, probably, because I'm a carb addict. So I just have to think about why, what's making me, what's tempting me? Why is it tempting me?
Hey, Brad, thanks for coming in tonight.
So I think for me, when I'm tempted by bad food, it's a similar type of thing. Like I have to be careful because I'm the type of person that if I start to eat something I shouldn't, it could very easily snowball for me. So I got to try my best not to eat it. I can try and do, if I'm not already drinking water, get some water, glass of water, and drink some water, because that might help fill you up. But like if I have something I can eat already made up, would be good. Some sort of meat or something, eat that. And hopefully that takes away the craving. If it's in the evening, I may just go to bed. I know that sounds crazy, but
I'll eat some bacon.
That works sometimes too.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that before too. Like in the evening, like I wasn't really that hungry necessarily for dinner, but then I started getting a craving, so I just made up a pound of bacon and ate a pound of bacon. I can eat a pound of bacon, no problem. So yeah, I've done that. I mean,
it's hard to,
for me, I got to try and stay away from the bad stuff.
Yeah. It's easy to say, oh, think about your why and all that. But in the moment, you might not, but I think it gets a little bit easier to not give in, but it's still pain. I mean, it's easier for me now after years and years of being keto and then having a relapse. It's easier for me now to remember the pain because it came back so fast in that 6-month relapse. And I really, really, really don't want to go back there now. So not much is tempting me right now.
I'm kind of like Gail. I try to associate pain with goodies, and look at it and say, that stuff's caused me a lot of pain. Why would I want to eat it? And that really kind of helps me not give into the temptation of that bad food.
So I see Simpson said, I have meat chips that I make, load butter on it, and it takes away the cravings. That's something else. Like if you can handle it and you really don't have anything else, cut yourself a little piece of butter and eat butter, because the butter is so fattening that it will usually take away any type of hunger craving you have.
You guys are making me hungry. I might make some eggs after this. That's another thing. I like to go to eggs, though. The hard-boiled egg will sometimes take care of it, or the bacon, or I just fix 3 or 4 eggs in a bowl with some butter. That usually works pretty good. And it seems to help a lot, and it doesn't seem to hurt me. Eating eggs doesn't seem to hurt. So
I haven't made brown butter in a while. I'm going to make some brown butter, and I heard putting electrolytes in it is kind of fun to do. So I might do that, video it and see how it turns out.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing when it comes to that food, I kind of remind myself, I know what it tastes like. I don't need to taste that cupcake or that brownie or that cookie. That kind of, that 5 seconds of pleasure in your mouth just isn't worth it. Later when you're not feeling good, your tummy hurts, or
And people say, oh, don't you miss bread? Or don't you miss? I had enough bread. Thanks.
I
6
honestly,
years of bread. Thanks.
I really don't miss bread. I mean, once in a while, the only thing I'll have that's bread now that I'm, doing ketovore is I will have some keto bread that has avocado on it. Once in a while, my wife likes to make avocado toast. I'll have some of that, but it's not like I need to eat it. I really don't miss bread at all. That's one thing that has not bothered me. Nope, it's not worth it.
Not worth it. Yeah, we had enough, didn't we? Really, more than our share.
Did anything happen in the game?
They're at a commercial. I think it's still 24-10. It might be the end of the third quarter. I'm not sure.
I'm
Man,
just
my
gonna be
setup
over here
here.
watching Gail's food porn.
I still got to look it up. I couldn't get to it. What were you saying? Going to say, Brian? Something about lighting?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say my setup here is like so messed up. Like, and I've got this like table that I'm trying to use, and I'm sitting at this couch, and I'm trying to sit up in the couch, so I'm like in the camera view and near the microphone and stuff. And
Dude,
then
if you knew
I
where
keep
I was
banging my
sitting right now,
foot. I keep banging my foot on this table too. So I'm
this
glad that I'm where I'm at, because otherwise this thing my foot would be swollen by now the way I used to be.
I'm
I'm sorry,
sitting
go
at
ahead,
the
Mike.
edge of my bed, and I have my feet up on the frame. And
I could almost lean back and kick my feet up. Whoops.
Oh, so Buffalo's got a 4th and 4 at the 42-yard line. It looks like they're trying to draw them offside. Early fourth quarter.
Yeah,
they were just trying to draw them offsides.
Grilled cheese was part of my demise, Gail, during my relapse, because there's a huge fundraiser event here in Eugene called the Grilled Cheese Experience. And every restaurant in town has a special grilled cheese sandwich every day in the month of February. Yeah. And so you get a little passport, and you get stickers, and you go around to all the restaurants and try the grilled cheese. And Miss Becky did that.
For those of you that
And
have not,
I regret it. Yes, look at
Gail's right there on her supper. Looks really good.
And look how cute she is. Can you see mine? Probably not. Look at Gail.
Yep.
In her shirt. Ribeye, baby. That's cute.
Gail's just all over it.
She's got us updated here. We're starting the... Oh! Popcorn's the worst, man. That smell.
Sounds good.
I mean, speaking about Temptations, I mean, I don't go to the movie theater. I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back.
No.
I don't know.
Yep, that was definitely a nice looking dish of food.
Mm-hmm. After having I think I've had sirloin every day this week. I'm really just craving some ground beef, so that looked really good.
I struggle with ground beef now. I never used to, but I don't know what it is. I think I've just had more steaks, and I'm like, man, I don't even like ground beef much anymore.
No.
It's like, I don't know why. Even burger patties just don't do it for me anymore.
Doing it for you. Well, I'm over hard-boiled eggs still. I haven't. I just can't. I just can't. And they're so easy, but
I haven't tried pork rinds with melted butter. That's an idea.
No, it's not. I agree with Kim. It would just be disappointing. I
Goat cheese with the beef. I see.
Yeah, I like to put cream cheese in mine. Tam, you probably put your eggs, your hard-boiled eggs in your ground beef, huh? Mix them up. That might be good, though. Maybe I'll do that. Burgers and steaks. Okay, she said. Well, they're both good.
Been kind of wanting to make some deviled eggs. It's been a while. My
Yeah.
mom makes really good ones, but I've been wanting to kind of make some because they're make for a great snack too.
That's usually what I take to all the potlucks I have to go to at church.
They're pretty
Now
popular.
that I have butter mayo, I can fake out all the Baptists. They'll think it's mayo, but it won't be.
Oh,
What happened?
almost a safety.
I'll
Yeah.
figure it out here in
It
a
was
second.
real close.
No.
So Becky, I have a question about that with the potluck for you. What do you normally see there? Do you see a lot of carnivore type of foods that you can eat, or is it mostly just like macaroni and cheese and stuff
It's
like that?
casseroles,
Chips.
it's
Yeah.
pork and it's baked beans, it's salads, potato salad, macaroni salad, yeah, bread.
Yeah.
There was one guy who kindly made dozens of chicken legs one year, one recent one, and they were really good. Just grilled chicken legs. But yeah. I have a friend who at church, she's carnivore, and it's really hard for both of us. So we sit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call them angel legs too, Dan. But it's the dessert table that's really bad, Brian.
Oh yeah.
Really bad.
I can't even imagine.
That's why I call it food porn. I can't take it.
So Tampa Bay's got a 3rd and 4 here. It's almost intercepted. So it's 4th down. Looks like they're going to have to punt. 13 minutes, 13-12 to go, 4th quarter. So.
Did you see that from Gail? That post? I don't know if you posted it up there. 7:35, or
What time was
it? 9:35. Sorry.
Looking
goat
forward
cheese
to my
one?
chuck roast.
Oh,
Or
the
chuck roast.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh yeah.
That sounds lovely. That's what I've been eating for lunches this week. Well, breakfast, first meal, whatever you call it. Chuck roast. I still have some left. Yep. There's another one. Let's see. My next potluck is, I think, the 12th of November.
There's a question there for Becky. Do you see it? Just came in.
Butter. I like the butter better. The bacon was too bacony. And actually that set up, well, I didn't thin it out enough before I put it in the fridge, so it got a little too solid. So that could have been just my bad.
Do you guys keep your bacon grease and reuse it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I almost never do. I don't know why. I just don't. I think it's because I cook so much bacon that I don't even think about it, you know? Plus, I cook it outside usually. So.
Oh, I cook mine in the oven. So I have jars in the fridge that I just pour it into. But then there's not a lot of things I use it for. I'll sear my chuck roast in it before I, slow cook it. I don't cook my eggs in it because I like those in butter.
So I think, I could be wrong, but I think it was Father's Day. My daughter got me a thing to store the bacon grease in. So I've been using that, and I have a cast iron pan, and I like to season it with the bacon grease. And then I'll cook steaks on it sometimes. It's really good that way.
Yeah, I mean, if I do a cast iron something or other, I'll use it, but I put my steaks in the air fryer more often than not.
See, like last night, I made a package of bacon. Well, on my Blackstone griddle, it's kind of at an angle, so all the grease kind of goes to the corner. Well, then I cooked pork chops. Well, guess what I did with the pork chops? I put them in the bacon
Put 'em in the
grease,
bacon grease. Well,
fried both
that's
sides, and then pull them out to the griddle part. And it's like, well, it does kind of the same thing.
you're saving it. You're just using it sooner.
Right. Yep. Well, I think part of it is because the container I just kind of leave out there sometimes, and it's like, well, I'm not going to reuse that because stuff could go in it or whatever. But
No.
I guess if it was a new foil, I could let it drip in there and take it out right away. But usually I just leave it sit there so it cools, and then it's out in the elements, so I don't reuse it. But maybe when I go back to inside cooking, I'll probably try to do more with it. But pork on pork, yep.
Yes.
So, Greg, I'm gonna drop here real quick.
Alrighty.
So
Yep.
I apologize, with being out of town.
No,
and everything, it's messed up this week, but so I'm gonna drop. But everybody keep going. Don't worry about me.
Keep
So
having fun over
this
there.
was great. Yeah, this was great. Becky, thanks again for being on with us tonight. Brad, if you're still watching, I don't know if you got a chance to still watch, but if you are, thank you for jumping in the beginning when I was a little late getting on and everything. And Greg, thanks as usual. Everybody watching, thank you. I think they're gonna keep going, but I'm just gonna stop myself. So thanks everybody.
Yeah, we'll keep going. And thanks, Brian, for coming in. And you wouldn't even have had to have done that on vacation this week, but have a good rest of the vacation, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Brian. See you later. All right. And Becky, are you able to stay on for a while yet?
Oh, yeah. It's only not even 8 o'clock here.
Yeah, we'll just keep going because there's some game. There's only 11:30 left in the game, actually. So another half hour we'll probably be wrapping up anyways. But we'll stay on because we have people here, and that's a good thing. So definitely. So last year you made chocolate chip cookies from a passed down family recipe. Not my family. You used lard instead of Crisco.
Good for you.
Interesting.
I bet that tasted good.
Yep.
I
must say, I got a package in the mail today, and actually I did a box opening video. I recorded. I haven't made the video. I will, but I ordered keto chow kit I kind of wanted to get it for my wife, but I wanted to try it too. Because they have a essential starter kit that's $19.99.
How I started.
Yep. And I'm more interested in seeing if we can make cookies with it, because I love cookies and I don't hardly get any anymore. Yeah. But, I know I was watching another guy I like to watch, Alan's Awesome Keto World.
Yeah.
He made some butterscotch cookies, and he said they were only 1 gram of carbs, and they were a regular size cookie. I'm like, that sounds kind of good. Not that we got butterscotch, because we didn't, but I kind of thinking we need to try to make some cookies out of it. But I wanted my wife to be able to have a shake at lunchtime, because she's already at her goal weight, and she usually only eats supper. And it's like, you probably need to eat a little more. And I'm like, why don't we try these shakes so you can try it and see, then I can try it too, because it's a good meal supplement. And I
have no adverse effects from it, blood sugar wise, at least, nothing like that. Yeah. It's, in fact, what did I have? Chocolate toffee ice cream tonight. It's so wrong to call. I mean, it is ice cream, but it's, like I said in my video, you make it with 4 tablespoons of butter and water and the powder, right?
Oh.
So mix that up
and stick it in the freezer.
Stick it in the freezer overnight, and then make
it. Is it kind of sweet tasting?
So it's a slightly sweet, the way it comes. So you can do it that way. I add a little allulose.
Okay.
And that bumps it up. I also add a little xanthan gum because that makes it a thicker, creamier. But it does pretty good in the creamy, Ninja Creamy. But just to, like, I bought the butterscotch that they came out with. That's a new flavor. And because I use warm water to make the mix and then freeze it, there's always a little bit left over because the Ninja Creamy thing is not as big as the amount you can make with the keto chow. So I was drinking it warm. That was really good. Warm butterscotch flavor. So yes, yum. It is yum.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to try that, but I thought, I'm going to do an unboxing video. I figure I'll put it in one of my, I won't do a separate video. I'll just put it in one of my videos just so people can see what it is. Just if they're wondering, I mean, it's a good deal. I mean, you get the shaker bottle and those are usually $8 to $10. And then
Right?
you got
It's
6
nice.
packets of stuff. So it's like, well, it'll be interesting to try it because I heard people say it's good. So I'm like, well,
it's pretty good. I mix everything up in a mason jar and use my stick blender to emulsify the butter a little better. But if you use cream, like some people do, you don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
So the shaker bottle works okay, but with butter, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, the cream ones, if I do cream, that kind of bothers me. It's a little bit too much cream for me, but, but maybe if you were sharing it with somebody, a pint.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it, though, because that's the one thing I do miss is cookies.
Yeah.
My dad was the same way. I remember when he was retired, he would get a hold of me and say, "Hey, could you bring me home a package of cookies?" And he'd always use it in his coffee. Because it's one of those things. My dad retired when I was still a senior in high school.
Oh, really?
And I was going to the local community college, so I was home. And then when I was going to go to town, we lived on an acreage. He'd say, "Hey, can you pick me up a pack of cookies?" But I remember that because he always wanted cookies. And my dad wasn't big by any means. I mean, he had a sweet tooth because he was like a type 2 diabetic. But oh yeah, he loved his cookies, and it just
me too.
It's like now that I'm getting older, it's like I kind of like cookies a lot too for some reason. But I don't drink coffee though, so.
I posted this on Facebook a long time ago. I think all food should come in cookie form, but that's why I like my meat cookies, my hamburger patties. I call them meat cookies.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, that's when I started gaining weight, to be honest, was after my daughter was born. I'm like, bring me home a package of Chips Ahoy cookies now, husband.
Yeah.
And it's so bad, but that is what I ate for many, many weeks. Like, that's all I wanted. So sad. Yeah, cookies are cookies are mom's love. Gail is posting,
Just for those of you wondering about the scores, still 24-10, Buffalo, 10 minutes and 5 seconds left. Tampa Bay has the ball on their own 7-yard line. So.
Oh, Baker, you can't do that. I'm seeing old footage here, but.
Jelly beans when you're pregnant.
Ooh.
Yeah. Everybody had their little fixes, I think, for sure.
My last one was Taco Time, not Taco Bell. Taco Time bean burritos. Wow.
Coffee, Haagen-Dazs after dinner almost every night. Yeah, there's people that like their cookies. And there's people that like their ice cream, for sure.
We did that too. Sure enough, when Ben and Jerry's came out, we were into that.
Boy, that stuff's not very cheap anymore, is it? For the little bit you get.
Aw, Gail. That's sweet, Gail. Well, yes, the crispy ones now. I get during my 6-month relapse, the crispy chicken burrito was a go-to
Mm-hmm.
at Taco Time. That's a Pacific Northwest thing, right? I don't think that's everywhere. Taco
Yeah, I don't
Time.
think I haven't heard of it. So
Yeah, that's out here.
You know, I will say this. We have what's called a Taco Tico. I
Oh.
go there a couple times a week because I get their taco salad.
Oh yeah.
And I get it no beans and I get
Mhm.
extra meat. And I usually get hot sauce with it, and then I'll do ranch. And I lost a lot of weight eating those salads. So it's
Yep.
like, well, I just don't eat the shell, you know.
No, you don't need this. You don't need to. You just
No, I
it
take a
comes in
couple
it.
bites of it, but that's it, you know, just to
Yeah.
get the taste. But yeah, I mean that's one of my favorites. So doesn't always agree with me though. So
Tam, I like the Big Juan from Taco Time. It's called the Big Juan. It's very good. Plus, Taco Time's a Diet Coke place. So, yeah. You're a Diet Pepsi?
I'm assuming it's fast food, right?
Yeah,
It?
yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like a Taco John's or
Taco Bell. It's a
same thing with Taco Tico, pretty much.
Yep. Just a
Except
drive-through.
Taco Tico's like family owned though. I mean, like the brothers all work it and they've been there for years and they're like my age and it's like
Oh gosh.
but they're reasonable. That taco salad I was telling you about with the
Yeah.
extra meat, it's like
Yeah.
$5.89.
Wow.
That's it. You can't go wrong with that for lunch, especially if you don't get a drink.
Big Juan is big. Habit Burger.
You know, that's one thing I'll say. I've not been able to go through
That
like
sounds good.
McDonald's and just order meat with no bun. I've not done that yet.
Why?
I don't know. I took my mom through Burger King yesterday. She got there. They have like 2 junior Whoppers for $5 right now. I just couldn't order anything on the menu. I don't know. I could have ordered them without the buns, I suppose, but I just didn't. She goes, I'm going to take you over there and get a taco salad because she insisted I get one since I took her shopping and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I let her because, you know, she's 80, going to be 87, and that's what she wanted to do. So
I did. I watched it. Is it the one? Wait, now I'm trying to remember. Is it the one where he said about how he wants all the companies to go bankrupt? Was it that one? I don't know. You ordered double quarter pounder plain. Oh, you order it with the bun. So at McDonald's, I just say 2, 3, or 4 quarter-pound beef patties plain, and they just put them in a box.
Is that how much they charge you for that?
I think they're about $1.50 or something like that. I think they've gone up, so I'm probably lying. Anyway. Are they?
Gail's giving an update there. Yep. Yeah, Tampa Bay is moving down the field. It's 24-10 still. 6:55 left is all. So they are definitely going against the clock. 4 plain patties with salt. In and out for $5. I hear In and Out's very good. I've never had it, but
that sounds good right now. I think they're actually gone up to $2.25 because I think my total for 4 was $9 the other day. Yep. So yeah, it's a little high. But any of their meals are way over $10. So
yeah.
Are they smaller than a quarter pound? I have yet to go. We don't have one here in Eugene yet. They're putting one in. out over by Springfield and the Gateway area, right off of I-5. So maybe I'll get to try it 2 years after they put it in, because I won't go while it's crazy busy.
Isn't that the one where the drive-thrus are always
Yes,
it takes a couple hours to get your food and stuff because the line's so long? I don't usually get out of the Midwest, so I mean,
well, honestly, I don't get off the West Coast either. So there you go. I don't know what's.
I'm hoping that maybe down the road, though, I can do some of these keto meetups, or the meetups. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
We've talked about we need to put one together out here. I know some of the Kelly Hogan people that live in Washington. Oh, what's her name? Anyway, they did one up in Tacoma. But I'm like, that is a long way for us to drive to.
That would be.
That's like 5 hours.
Yeah, if there's one in Minneapolis or Des Moines, maybe Omaha, I would do that, because my kids are my two daughters are in Omaha, so that's just 4 hours away.
Yeah, you could combine a trip there.
Yeah, be easy to do that.
I want to go to a Fogo de Chao, and there is one in Portland, I think.
Oops.
Never been to a Brazilian steakhouse.
So the patties are 1.31 ounces.
What?
And that's for In-N-Out? That's 1.31 ounces?
That is tiny. Right?
There you go. Yep. Yeah, that'd be nice if they did one in Omaha. That'd be okay. Well, Bob is down there. I know. Semi-retired Bob. He lives in Omaha. I know. They actually did have some kind of meetup. I remember that. It was a few months ago, but they did do something down there. And I remember it was kind of when I think I found it, and there's no way I could go, but that would have been kind of fun to do. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
In-N-Out in Roseburg? I know there's one in Grants Pass, and there's one up in Kaiser, right? Well,
there's a few people from Iowa in here tonight.
Hey, Mike.
Butter Bob. Yep. I finally tuned into his videos the other day because someone mentioned him. I'm like, I've never heard of him. Then I seen all his videos, but he hasn't done them for a long time. But definitely he had a lot of good advice and stuff.
I'm from Roseburg. Maybe I'll go down there. Check it out. Williams. I don't even know where that is. Williams, Oregon. Getting my map out. Oh. That's out in the boonies. South of Grants Pass, but not off of I-5.
Just to give a little update, it's 24-10 still, 3rd and 8 for Tampa Bay, and they threw an incomplete pass with 3:11 left in the game. So now it's 4th and 8. So this plays probably the ball game here.
Yep, getting down to it.
Back in the standard American diet days.
Yep. We all did our things. Horse people, yes. Well, they need the boonies, the horse people, for the space.
Oh, and
sort of like west of Medford.
And the quarterback just got sacked, but he was face masked, and they just threw a late flag.
Ooh.
So I think it'll be Tampa Bay's ball still. We'll see if they call the face mask. They did, I'm pretty sure. The players' helmets off too, so. Oh, yeah, they had to call that. So the game's not over.
Ooh.
If anybody's just joining us, Brian left a little bit ago. He's on vacation, but he's here for most of the show. So Becky's just hanging out with me, and we're just kind of talking about different food at different places and talking a little bit of football. So, but thank you everyone for joining us, and we're glad you're here.
We already did the conversation of dealing with Halloween candy and treats. So.
Yep, we did.
If you need a place to go to ignore trick-or-treaters, you come hang out with me at 6:00 Pacific next Tuesday.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because you're like 2 hours behind me, I think.
Yep.
Even. So.
Yeah. Your trick-or-treating will probably already be done by then.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mike's probably going, ooh, politics.
I do like living in Iowa. Kind of, I don't know. I don't worry about too many things or going on in the world, I guess, in Iowa. But let's see.
Lights off. Me too.
Yeah.
All of them. And my room's at the back of the house, so no one will see me back here.
Cattle ranches. Yeah. Hawkeyes. Yep. That reminds me, Mike, did you see the Hawkeye game this last weekend where the guy supposedly called for a fair catch? That was a big controversial call that went through college football. It was just kind of crazy because they said he had an invalid fair catch and it didn't really look like it. It was kind of a crazy deal, but he ran the punt back for a TD and they took the lead with just a couple minutes left in the game, but then they called an invalid fair catch and then they didn't score and the game was over. Minnesota won. But it's like you said, that was not a fair catch. No, it was not a fake fair catch. You know, it was kind of a weird play, especially when he was waving his hands in the middle of the field. The one hand, he's kind of directing, pointing with one hand and directing traffic with the other. And then he caught the ball right on the edge of the sideline and returned it back. Nobody could tackle him. And then they reviewed it for going out of bounds. And then they said, oh, you made an invalid. I think it was a Vegas thing myself, but that was just me. I don't know. It's just really bad. The rule was bad or whatever. It just was kind of a cheesy call.
That's awesome, Mike.
That's good news, Mike. Congratulations.
Oh, goodness. We have maybe a spammer there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never been out of the country myself.
I have. I worked for a cruise line. I better have.
Oh, touchdown Tampa Bay.
There you go, Gail.
So it is going to be 24-16. We'll see if they kick the extra point. There's 2:44 left in the game. Tampa Bay went 17 plays, 92 yards for a touchdown. So Mike Evans caught the touchdown.
Mike. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Canada. I've been to Jamaica and Grand Cayman. For work, huh?
Well, Tampa Bay is going for 2, and they caught it on a deflection, which now it's 18-24 with 2:44 left in the game. Well, really, Eric? You're in Illinois and have never been to Iowa. Wow.
There are bridges to get over the river.
Yeah.
Get there.
Illinois is not even that wide a state either. So.
Mm-hmm. I've been there too.
Yep, South Dakota 2 weeks ago. Yeah, my son went to college in South Dakota last year, so I made it over there a few times.
Mike.
Yep. Looks like you're even. Yeah, South Dakota is a pretty state. It's especially when you get to the western part of South Dakota with the Black Hills.
Mm-hmm. Me too. But only because I was born in Iowa and my dad's family lived in Illinois.
Which part of Iowa were you born
in? Burlington. Southeast,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
Right on the river.
What's nice, Mike, about South Dakota is there's no state income tax. So you keep everything you make, which is nice.
We got that, but we don't have a sales tax.
Oh.
They finally started letting us self-serve gas.
Really?
Yes, finally.
Is gas still pretty expensive over that way?
I paid $4.56.
Really? You'll never guess what I paid today.
So what?
$2.89.
Well, okay, that is the one thing we have tax on. Now they don't say it's it's built into the price. They tax our gas here. Idly.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it was below $3, and I had like a 3 cent, or I think it was more than 3 cent discount on it. Not sure why, but yeah, I was pretty happy with that.
That's why, I liked to go out and do my hikes around in the different, state and national parks we have here. I don't want to spend money on gas.
Yeah. Eric, you're right. Dakota's great in the summer. Rough winters. Yeah, they have some rough winters. There's no doubt about that.
They still get us. You're right, Tam. Nobody did, Mike. Nobody thought. Do I use it though? No, because I am a pretty, pretty princess and I want to be served.
$3.26 in Harlan. Yeah, it's a little further south. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's in northern Iowa. It's really went down the last few weeks here. But election time's coming. That's probably why.
Well, ours went down because like a week ago I was paying $4.79. So.
So nobody pumps their own gas in Oregon, or it hasn't been that way.
It hasn't been that way. It was illegal for years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They're all full service stations then. Wow.
Yeah. And now they have a self-serve lane and they still have an attendant there if you want it.
That's interesting.
I like it. I lived in California, so I was used to doing it, but I never liked smelling like it.
I haven't seen a full service gas station in years.
Well, it's not like they do anything else anymore. I mean,
Right.
you know, they used to
Clean your windows and all
clean
that.
your windows, and still way too much. Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some snow possibly this weekend, and we were just going over that because it was 63 degrees earlier here, and it's supposed to get in the 40s and some snow this weekend. So we're actually going to travel to Ames and Des Moines on Thursday, or I'm sorry, on Saturday. Yeah, it's still 63 here.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I refreshed it even.
We have a freeze watch this weekend.
309 in Kenosha. Yep. Cheap gas
That's
and
up north.
groceries.
That's not here.
I bet you're familiar with Quick Trips being in Kenosha. I'm guessing there's some over that way. They're all over in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa.
509.
Oh, there was a game update, by the way. Buffalo has the ball, and there's 2:16 left. It's first and 10, so and it's 24-18. So they must have missed the onside. Sorry, guys, I was sleeping when that happened. But it looks like Buffalo's probably going to win this game here.
Ooh, it's chilly. Same here. Tomorrow's going to be chilly.
You know, here they're showing a high 61 tomorrow. So windy, though. So there's a 40% chance of snow on Saturday and a high of 33. So that will be chilly. But yeah, you said you're going to be in the 30s in the morning. Right? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's that time of year, isn't it?
It is.
Two Quick Trip gas stations across from each other. That's funny. They're busy enough, though. Those stations are, because they serve a lot of good food and stuff. So people they're hot food. So they're pretty popular in the Midwest.
Everybody here goes to Costco for gas, and the lines are ridiculous. I'm like, why? I want to pull in and pull out.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. They changed the rules, and now they're impossible to get. I don't even know why they do kickoffs anymore either, because almost none of them are returned. They might as well just give the team the ball in the 25.
Here's your ball. Yeah. My dad always said about basketball, they should just start at 100 points apiece and play for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's get it over with.
Yeah, no kidding.
What's this Sunday? Rams and Cowboys.
Yep, it just had the 2-minute warning. It's 2nd and 5 for Buffalo, and they're winning 24-18. So I don't know. They probably need to try to get this first down so they can milk out the clock. It doesn't look like Tampa Bay has any timeouts. So if they get the first down, it's going to be pretty much they ran the ball, and he's not going to get the first down. So. And they're right about the 50-yard line. Well, I have it up. I just want to thank everybody who's on tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We'll probably be leaving shortly after the game's over here, but I got a couple more comments here that I want to put up.
Right.
That line must be bad.
It's bad.
You're going to laugh, but I've never been in a Costco.
I don't go.
We have one now kind of down by Des Moines. I'd like to go in, but I don't have a membership. And then we did get a membership to Sam's Club, though, and we're going to be going to one of those this weekend. So. Yep. Thanks, Gail. We try to have a good conversation. You know, it's a little different concept because we do talk about football, but then we also have some good, conversation about the low carb diets and different things that go on. And, we bring in guests and yeah, I know there's quite a few people that are regular on here tonight. I see that
I
for
appreciate
sure.
it.
Yeah, Becky, is great having you on again too, because I know you always contribute to the show even when you're not on it. So appreciate that.
I like it. I like football and I like low carb life.
Yep, it's good. There's always a lot of good comments and good things going on. So
my son keeps telling me he will take me to Costco with his membership, but he never does.
He should just get you a gift card because you can buy it at Costco if you get a gift card. You can go in
on without a membership.
Yep, you can buy as long as you have a gift card, you can buy. Oh. But they have to buy them in the store and then give them to you. I guess. See? But I've seen that and that works.
Well, he tells me we need to go to the one down in Roseburg, which is like 70 miles away because it's never as busy as the one here in Eugene. So, but does he go with me? No.
Thank you for coming in again. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to meet you too.
Yep.
I love you. I've heard that. We don't have them here.
Yeah, I've heard Costco's pretty good. I'm anxious to look at some of the, see if they got any ribeye roasts that I can cut up into steaks, or it'd be fun to even get a fillet and do some fillets. But I know there's not a lot of fat on them, but they're so good.
Oh, Tam, I get it. I have a work thing tomorrow, a whole day conference to go to.
Does it start early or not too bad?
8.
Tampa Bay did get the ball back. There's 21 seconds left. They're on their own 20 and 21 seconds. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. They just ran a quick out for like 8 yards. Ooh. Now in 16 seconds, that play was kind of, I think they're just trying to get it close enough where they can do a Hail Mary to the end zone.
Oh, that ain't no lie.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
What was the one store I saw? I think it was a Target. They were shutting down in a mall, not a mall, but like a shopping area in a town because the violence was so bad. It wasn't here in Oregon.
Really? Wow.
New York area somewhere.
That's too bad. Yeah, I think I saw that.
But it's happened here in Portland. Just
Mike's gonna do some wiring up.
Oh.
Yeah, that's $5 for a chicken. You can't beat that.
I enjoy those.
Eric, I like to get those at Quick Trip, or they're called Quick Star in Iowa, but I think they're like $5.99 on Mondays, which isn't bad either. So, but those are pretty good. I know my wife and I enjoy one of those once in a while. My daughter's got a membership to Costco. I think when we go visit her in Omaha, we'll probably try to go in there and just have a look around. Oh,
is it over?
No, not yet. Nope. But there's 8 seconds left.
Okay, 8. I saw 16, so I didn't know where we were.
He almost got sacked, and he sidearm passed it to a guy, and he got out of bounds. But let's see.
Yep. Downtown Portland.
Yeah, it's too bad all that has to happen and stuff. It's sad.
Yep. I had when I first lived in Portland in the like 86, 87. I used to walk downtown, walked from the bus terminal area up to where I worked in Northwest Portland, and it was perfectly safe and fine. But I wouldn't do that now.
No, that's something. Nope, I haven't tried theirs. Chicken strips are good. I'll maybe try to get something this weekend for sure. Well, it looks like there's 4 seconds left, and Tampa Bay is going to be, it's second two, but they still have like, let's see where they're at. They're on like their own 40-yard line. So my guess is they're going to have to pitch it around because I don't think he can get it to the end zone. Oh, there's a flag. Offsides on the defense. They blew it dead right away, so.
It's bad.
Yeah.
My roommate works for Walmart, and the shrinkage it's almost doubled in the past couple of years.
Well, I don't understand why I don't just change the laws back to be a little more strict so people aren't stealing like that. And it's just ridiculous.
The Rose Festival was awesome. The Rose Parade. I was so lucky because I worked not far from the route, so we could park in our company parking spots and go.
He's throwing it to the end zone, and it fell incomplete. He got it to the end zone, a 60-yard bomb. Baker Mayfield did, but it fell to the ground. So the game is over, 24-18. Buffalo wins.
Go Buffalo.
Yeah, that's just that's crazy how times have changed though, and to hear about the stuff that's going on, I just shake my head. You know, we don't really see that in Iowa. So
we see it. We've seen it for years now.
Sad to see.
Cam, what town are you in? I forget. But you don't have to say if you don't want to on the internet.
Oh, let's see here. There's actually 9 people on this right now. So thank you all for staying. That's awesome that you're all here. And just want to thank you for being here again. And any last comments you got, go ahead and put them down and we'll show them. And then we'll probably be getting done here pretty quick. So let's see here.
Oh, outside Salem. Okay.
Oh, whoops. Let me see here. Rose Festival is a party. Yep.
It was awesome. You know, Mike was from Canby. Did you know that? Tam?
Yeah, outside Salem. Yep, that's why we try to do these on Thursday night. The football game's on then, but yeah, no, it's been fun. And then Eric's on another. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. I think Eric's been one of the few that's been here from the get-go. Actually, there's quite a few on here that have been here, so we appreciate all of you. And like I said, Brian, appreciate you too. He just had to get out, and I can't blame him. He's on vacation, so the weeks are flying by. I mean, what are we, week 8 or 9 in the NFL now? I mean, it's going crazy. Quick.
It's going so fast.
And these next 2 months are going to go really fast, especially with having the holidays mixed in there. I know me and Brian are not going to have a show on Thanksgiving. I think we already decided that not have that. So, but we'll plan on being here again next week. So, but like I said, I want to thank you all for being here, and we appreciate you. And thank you, Becky, for coming on again tonight and hanging out with me.
Of course, anytime.
Comments here. Yeah, you never know. We might do some hockey stuff come once football season's over, because I know Brian likes hockey and he's into sports, and I'm sure we could round up enough things going on. A BB town.
BB town.
Interesting.
You could shoot your eye out with that thing.
Thanks again, Mike. And Gail, thank you. And Tam Steak, thank you. And we'll say goodnight right there. You going to hang on a second, Becky?
Yep.
Sounds good. All right. Take care, everyone. Nice seeing you. Thanks again. Bye-bye.